7171.
Fans of Philly, looking to hit the road this season to watch our Philadelphia football team? Book your road trip with Fans of Philly. Trips are now available for pre-order to Kansas City, Tampa Bay, and New England. Travel in style with transportation, pregame party, and game tickets to enjoy the Birds on the road this season with Fans of Philly, the official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles radio network. Book now at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a P of Philly.com.
More than 80 million Americans depend on AM radio each month for news, weather, and emergency information. A new bill in Congress would make sure AM radio remains in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And away we go, live on this Friday, August 4th. It is indeed Kayal and Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We are always live on the free Odyssey app and streaming live for your video viewing pleasure on YouTube as we head until 10 o'clock this morning. 855-839-1210, the phone number. Twitter and Instagram at 1210 WPHT. I am at Nick Kayal, K-A-Y-A-L. Mary Walter in for Dawn Stensland one more time this morning. Greg Stocker, the chairman of the board. Daniel Valdez, our associate producer on this Friday. Mary, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? Happy Friday.
Yes, we made it. Sleep schedule has been adjusted for you just in time for it to get screwed up again.
No, I'm gonna pull a Nick when I get off the air. I'm taking a well-deserved nap.
Hell yeah. I am pro nap, as you know, on this program. 60 minutes, 75, 90, sometimes an hour and 45. Just depends on how I'm feeling.
Well, according to experts, the proper amount for a nap is either 90 minutes or an hour and a half.
Okay. Which will be the same.
Oh, wait, it is the same.
Yeah, 90 minutes and an hour and a half.
Wait, hold on. So the shorter nap is 20 minutes
or
an hour and a half. Sorry, my bad. It's early for math.
That's fake news, by the way. It's 20 minutes I've debunked that many years ago. Gregory.
Yeah, buddy.
You ready to roll on this Friday?
I am. Always, every Friday. I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, ready to roll to the exit and get home for the weekend, right?
Yeah. What time is it? 6:04? How many hours do we have? Okay.
You get out early on a Friday, Greg? You leave a little bit earlier than normal?
Depends on what's going on.
All right. There you go. Common trend these days. People trying to get to their weekend quicker, to their holiday quicker, to their vacation quicker. But we got all sorts of good stuff to get to on today's program. A big take on the corruption and the censorship of the Biden brand. More revealing details yesterday coming out. Donald Trump gets arraigned. And we also have all sorts of very interesting stories outside of the world of news and politics. Been a very heavy week. We'll have some fun this morning. Normally, Dawn Stenzel would hit you with the news right around 6:05, and Dorenzo has handled that this week, but Dorenzo is out this morning.
Yeah.
But I do want to throw out this story to you guys, and this is definitely news. And in the city of Philadelphia, typically Dawn will give us the news, and usually it features shootings and or a homicide, but also lots of carjackings. We've seen a lot of these Kia and Hyundai carjacking incidents. We've seen vehicle pursuits. And we know in Philadelphia, much like a lot of the other big blue cities over the last couple of years, cops have been told to stand down and do less. They've been defunded, demoralized, and demonized. So now they said, you know what, why try to enforce the law and stop crime? Why don't we break it ourselves? And I'm not even talking about on-duty violations, but this is courtesy of the Philadelphia Inquirer, and the headline reads, "Off-duty car stop leads to a high-speed crash and investigation of a Philadelphia police commander."
Uh-oh.
Not the Washington Commanders, but a Philadelphia police commander.
Sure.
So this is interesting. A commander in the Philadelphia Police Department's Internal Affairs Bureau is himself facing an internal investigation for his role in an off-duty vehicle stop this week in Northeast Philadelphia that ended with the suspect's car speeding away and flipping over. The driver and passenger were hospitalized. Law enforcement sources say Inspector George Cappy, while driving an unmarked vehicle, pulled up behind a parked Dodge Charger shortly after 4 p.m. on Tuesday. He just left work. A short time earlier, he had noticed the car doing donuts in a parking lot near the Internal Affairs building on Dungan Road. When Cappy activated his emergency lights and relayed the information over police radio, the Charger pulled away, according to sources who spoke anonymously in order to comment freely on the matter. Cappy said he followed the car to try to get its license plate number, but turned his lights off after the vehicle reached a high speed. The Dodge crashed and overturned on the 600 block of Tyson Avenue, sending the two men to the hospital. The police department has strict rules for initiating vehicular pursuits, including requiring probable cause that the suspect has committed or attempted a felony involving force or possessing a deadly weapon. Sergeant Eric Grip, a police spokesperson, would not confirm Cappy's involvement, but said on Thursday that an internal affairs commander was under investigation by Investigative Support Services, which handles these probes involving people within internal affairs. So it looks like that this guy, even though I guess the motive initially probably was, a good cause, you're off-duty, unmarked vehicle, and then you go down and pretty much commit a violation. So it seems like we have Grand Theft Auto in the cities a lot of days, and it feels like this might be one of those situations, again, that was like a video game.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Well, we do know the car was a stolen car. Was a stolen vehicle out of Newark.
Right. But the cop is off duty.
Yeah, but he did turn his lights on, so they knew he was a cop.
Okay.
And they chose to flee. They chose to be in a stolen car. They chose to flee. And what struck me about this whole thing is we don't know the name of the two 27-year-old thieves.
No, because
that's what we don't know. But the article is about the cop who. Right. So to me, this whole thing is backwards. I'm sorry. This drives me crazy. You want to stop carjackings? Super simple.
Yeah.
These two gentlemen should now be on the hook to pay off their hospital bills, any damage done by the crash, and the car. Yep. And I don't care if they have to pay $1 a week for the rest of their miserable lives.
$1 a week.
That should be done. Okay? Don't come in with your poor whatever. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. They're 27-year-old men. They are old enough to make decisions. Bad ones, apparently.
Yeah.
But the only thing this article about is the cop.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Inquirer, of course.
Not buying this.
The Inquirer.
I don't like this.
The Inquirer is always going to be anti-police. We know that. We've seen that for years. They don't give the cop the benefit of the doubt. Of course not. It's always a major slant from the Inquirer, but just thought that was pretty interesting from a news standpoint in the city, because usually it's all these lawless activities with vehicles being jacked, and now we have a situation where the cop tries to do the right thing off duty, and I you know what, I like your payment plan, $1 a week for the rest of their life. That'll add up quickly, right?
Well, but even if that's all they're capable of paying, we need to start holding criminals accountable for their actions. Now, I understand that ain't happening in a lot of cities, including Philadelphia.
Sadly.
That's a pipe dream, right?
Yep.
But imagine how different the outcomes would be when these guys start to get older and they start having kids, or maybe they clean up their act, but they are reminded for the rest of their lives of a dumb decision they made. Mm-hmm. Right? So I'm not saying you got to bankrupt them.
Yep.
But they have to make restitution. It shouldn't be on, oh, well, you have insurance.
Yep.
The car owner has insurance. Who cares? The city has insurance. Let them pay it.
Yep.
Why should taxpayers be on the hook for all this stuff?
I totally agree. All right, 6:11 Friday morning. Let's get to the final big take of the week.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
All right, the big take today, corruption and censorship. That is the Biden brand. 2 activities, 1 family, 0 reason to remain at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. If you watch lamestream media, which most of you do not, and thank God you don't, this week will be viewed as the week that Donald Trump faced the music for the 2020 election and January 6, 2021. The reality is, however, that this should be remembered as the week the Biden family was exposed for the corrupt censorship regime that they are running. Thursday was another damning day for the 46th president of the United States, his administration, and his family. From the corruption of the big guy and his son with foreign business dealings to the way in which the Biden administration told social media giant Facebook how to run their operation in regards to censorship, there should be 0 reason why any sensible American sees any reason for the Biden family to remain in the White House beyond 2024. Now, we have further details from Devin Archer, letters that completely contradict Joe Biden's steadfast denial of having any involvement in Hunter's business affairs, and more big tech governmental collusion. But let's start with the corruption element of the Biden family. Joe Biden claimed that he never had any contact with Hunter's business. The following is a letter to Hunter's business partner from when Joe was just a little guy as vice president under Obama. The letter is dated January 20th, 2011, and it reads, "Dear Devin, I apologize for not getting a chance to talk to you at the luncheon yesterday. I was having trouble getting away from hosting President Huh. I hope I get a chance to see you again soon with Hunter. I hope you enjoyed the lunch. Thanks for coming. Sincerely, Joseph R. Biden. P.S. I'm happy you guys are together." End quote. I mean, come on. What else is needed to show the country how corrupt the Biden family is? Evidence upon evidence piling up. And just yesterday, Fox News obtained a transcript of Devin Archer's full testimony before the House Oversight Committee, and the big takeaway is that Hunter used his father's defensive leverage for foreign business partners. Devin Archer told congressional investigators that Hunter Biden used then Vice President Joe Biden as, quote, defensive leverage to send the right signals to his foreign business partners while selling him as the brand that offered capabilities and reach, as well as a unique understanding of D.C. Archer told investigators that Hunter Biden used his very powerful name to add value in pitching and securing foreign business ventures. Archer said Hunter Biden, quote, would not be so overt or, quote, overtly say, we're going to use my dad for this, but instead, Archer said that he would use the name to get leverage. Defensive leverage, that the value is there in his work, Archer said. Quote, that value that Hunter Biden brought to it was having, there was the theoretical was corporate governance, but obviously given the brand, that was a large part of the value. I don't think it was the sole value, but I do think that was a key component of the value. Quote, you aren't talking about Dr. Jill or anybody else. You're talking about Joe Biden. Is that fair to say? Archer was asked. Archer replied, yeah, that's fair to say. Obviously, that brought the most value to the brand. It was Hunter Biden and him, Archer said. We would discuss having, an understanding of D.C., and that was a differentiating component of us being able to raise capital. In Miranda Devine's latest New York Post column, she says, quote, he described how Joe was the brand of his family business and was used to send signals of power, access, and influence, whether on speakerphone or meeting in person. There were dinners at Cafe Milano in Washington, D.C. with Hunter's benefactors from Ukraine, Russia, and China. Breakfasts at the vice presidential residence in D.C. Handshakes on the sidelines of Beijing meetings. Ultimately, it was this access to VP Biden that sent millions of dollars flowing into Biden family coffers. It is crystal clear now that Joe was directly involved with Hunter Biden and Burisma. It wasn't accidental. It wasn't minimal. It was direct. There is more evidence of the corruption. But now let's get to the censorship aspect of the Biden brand. Jim Jordan released the Facebook Files Part 3 yesterday on Twitter. And in it, we have newly subpoenaed internal notes of meetings between Facebook executives and Biden administration officials that reveal more about the lengths the Biden White House wanted to go to control true speech on Facebook. We're not even talking about free speech. We're talking about sharing the truth on Mark Zuckerberg's platform. The Biden administration was hell-bent on controlling the COVID narrative on social media. One White House official even going as far as mocking middle America's ability to determine what is true and what is false. During an April 5th phone call, Biden's head of strategic communications and public engagement for the nation's response to COVID, Courtney Rowe, appeared to mock middle America's ability to determine what is true and what isn't. Quote, if someone in rural Arkansas sees something on Facebook, it's the truth, Rowe said. Quote, what we need is help pushing back on the myths, end quote. Then in 2021, the White House wanted to control what narratives and true content was posted on Facebook surrounding COVID-19. President Biden went so far to say that Facebook was, quote, killing people for allowing certain statements to be published on the site. The Biden White House even questioned whether Facebook was doing enough to reduce traffic from sites like the New York Post. Boy, Facebook, the New York Post, and the Biden administration, they don't jive well together, do they? Like oil and water, whether we're talking about COVID information during the pandemic or censorship with the Hunter Biden laptop story leading up to the 2020 election. They even went as far as trying to get Facebook to kick people off of their site. This administration then took it a step further, where they questioned whether Facebook could change its algorithm so users saw more posted content from the New York Times and less from sites like the New York Post, the Daily Wire, and also contributors of Fox News and Outkick such as Tommy Lahren. Essentially, Facebook became the social media weaponized branch of big tech for the Biden administration. This is what China does, and it's undeniable anymore. The Bidens are corrupt, and they're also hell-bent on censorship. The only question left is, when will some of us in America wake up? And that's the big take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
Okay, if you have thoughts and reaction to yesterday's news on the Biden corruption and censorship front, you can certainly jump in. 855-839-1210, the phone number, 855-839-1210. We're on Twitter and Instagram at 1210WPHT, or, of course, be a part of the Kayal and Company comment community on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Hit the like and subscribe buttons and jump in and be a part of the show. We'll come back, get Mary and Greg's thoughts on yesterday's Biden news, and also Donald Trump officially arraigned yesterday. Thoughts and reaction to another appearance in court from the former president. That's all still ahead. It's a Friday edition of Kayal and Company. Mary's in for Dawn. Nick, Mary, and Greg. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
DuckDuckGo is a browser like Chrome, but it blocks trackers, so it helps stop those creepy ads from following you around. And DuckDuckGo comes with a private search engine like Google, but it doesn't spy on your searches. And there's no catch. It's free. Join the tens of millions of people taking back their privacy and download DuckDuckGo today.
Volvo Finance, in concert with Cherry Hill Volvo, is offering lease and cash bonuses up to $2,500. Purchase or lease a new XC40 or XC90 through Volvo Finance and through Cherry Hill Volvo and receive this additional bonus along with the aggressive pricing already posted on our Cherry Hill Volvo website. This is a special offer and it is not to be missed. Volvo Finance and Cherry Hill Volvo and you, a perfect partnership.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Here's a great tip to beat the summer heat in your home. Trust PJ Fitzpatrick for the perfect new roof with modern ventilation systems and high-tech attic insulation. They've earned thousands of 5-star reviews and back all new roofs with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. And the PJ Fitzpatrick team of experienced professionals installs most roofs in just one day. Set up a free design consultation this month to save thousands during their summer sale. Visit trustpj.com today. That's trustpj.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Traveling, volunteering, spending time with family. What's your retirement look like? With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses, so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
This could be the start of a break-in.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Or the end of one.
Police are on their way.
Introducing the latest innovation in home security. 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from Simply Safe. Now, agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Parks Casino. Joe Conklin hosts national comedians every other Thursday. It's Joe Conklin's Comedy Night at Parks. Show dates and tickets. Go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show. Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show. Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Lose weight and feel great with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into the radio show Sunday at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Heading down the shore? Download the free Odyssey app and take us with you. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
.624, welcome back in. Kayal and Company live here on a Friday morning. Nick, Mary, and Greg. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us on YouTube. Tweet us, Instagram us, Facebook us. Send us mail. Email us. Whatever you got to do. Just be a part of the show, as many of you are on a daily basis. A lot of good stuff to get to today. We'll get through some of the Biden and Trump stuff early on, as well as DeSantis and Newsom. That apparently is going to happen from a debate standpoint. But also, still ahead this morning, local stories revolving around Eagles center Jason Kelce. Nothing to do with sports, but something that went viral on social media. And also, it's been a while since we've discussed mullets. And every time there's a good mullet story, it's worth chopping up. pun intended. A Montgomery County boy is making headlines in a nationwide mullet contest.
It's a pretty sweet mullet, too.
It really is.
It really is, yeah.
So Valdez will be hard at work putting up visuals for that.
Yep.
And then also locally, journalism under attack, both locally and nationally. Fox 29 kind of under siege with the FCC, and also Catherine Herridge and journalists being told by judges, show us your sources, which is a complete disgrace. So we'll get to all of that as we continue. But, Mary, yesterday we got more details about Hunter and Devin Archer, full transcripts of testimony being released, and then also Jim Jordan dropping another bombshell on the Facebook Files Part 3. So your thoughts on both the corruption front as well as the COVID censorship front?
Wow, there's a lot there. How much time do we have?
Take your time. We got 3.5 hours.
Okay, great. But I need to get my coffee, so I'll make it short. So first of all, I have the timing once again with Republicans. For the love of God, learn how to release things at the right time. It got totally blown over by Trump, having to show up in court yesterday. Mm-hmm. So if they were smart, it would have been released today.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about it that way.
They're not smart.
Right.
So they lose the the big splash effect because the other networks were not coming away from Trump. And CNN trotted out Michael Cohen. Did you see that?
I did see that. Yeah. Disgraced Michael Cohen.
I have him for the Kutchi coming up at 7:45.
All right.
I want to know, and everyone's talking about it on Twitter, are they bringing Michael Avenatti back too?
Relive
the good old days?
Why don't we just bring Stormy Daniels out as well?
Right. It's ridiculous. So, but here's the problem with all of this. Nothing is going to resonate or be covered by the state-run media until they show a direct link to Joe with money going into his accounts.
That's a good way to summarize it. That is probably the only thing where they will eventually be at that point, they no longer can deny it. They no longer can bury it. They can no longer spend 7 minutes in an entire week on it. You're absolutely right.
So they can throw out whatever they want between now and then. Doesn't matter. As far as Facebook goes, I am so far. I get so many messages on Facebook because I have a professional page and I have a group and I got my private page, blah, blah, blah. I haven't had time to deal with Facebook probably in 6 months.
I've been off of Facebook for 11 or 12 years, and I'm glad I have been off for that long. But it's just, when you think about the way this administration, and look, every administration wants power, they want control, you want money. I got it. I understand the dynamics and the basic desires of politicians as well as parties and administrations. But this is just some next level China stuff here, where you are going to say, hey, how do we circulate the New York Times, because that's a more favorable publication to not only our party and our agenda, but also our message and our narrative with COVID, where they're coming out and saying, no, I want to see less of the Post. I don't want to see the Daily Wire. I don't want to see this lady from Outkick. Let's minimize all of that and basically flip around the algorithm so we only display what looks good and approved by us.
I mean, we've all been. Haven't you been censored on Facebook? I have.
There was a stretch where I thought that I was shadow banned on Twitter because it was probably late 2020, early 2021, where I'm posting stuff. And I was still doing sports at the time, but I was putting out a few political thoughts at the time that, it was really not well received by those that were my bosses in sports. They're like, yeah, just don't get carried away with them. I'm like, all right, so I just a little drip here, a little drab there. And all of a sudden I would notice, I'd get no comments. I'd get no replies. And I don't post things for reaction anyway. But I would click on the tweets, and they would have those metrics that you could see how many impressions each one got. And they just weren't. And then I click on ones that got and I'm like, wait a minute, 6,832 impressions for this, and then 112 for that. Something doesn't add up here.
Right. Yeah. No, I got banned on Facebook just before the 2020 election, shockingly, for posting an article from Fox News.
Oh, well, that's not credible.
I should have known, right? That was talking about the election in New Jersey and putting out all of the ballots and how how to vote and all this other stuff. And apparently there was something in it they didn't like, and I got kicked off until after the election.
Wow. So you were out of it for how long? till they restored
It was
your
well.
account?
I posted. It was probably about a month before the election because when
wow.
New Jersey was putting out, tons of everybody. Hey, you get a ballot. You get a ballot. Everybody gets a ballot. All that stuff. And so it was till after it was like 6-week ban. Something like that.
All right. Well, I've never been shut down on Twitter, but I could see that coming one day. Greg will actually probably be happy if I got banned from Twitter. Then I'd have no chance to be on it at all.
I don't want anybody banned on Twitter. I just want you to post less.
Yeah, which I have been. So that's kind of where we're at yesterday with the latest with Biden on both the corruption front with Devin Archer and his son, as well as the censorship stuff, which you make a really good point, though, with can the Republican Party just get better people in PR or timing or just how to really make things be more impactful? They don't have the best timing of releasing stuff, do they?
They're not going to get any coverage anyway. So what little coverage you're going to get, you have to look for it and you have to maximum to try to give them run a weekend course.
Yep.
Like just run a weekend course for them on how to do this.
That's correct. 855-839-1210 if you would like to jump in on the conversation. From Biden to Trump we go. Yesterday, the arraignment, of course, a lot of TV coverage, a lot of cameras. Here comes Trump Force One, private flight. We get it.
It was OJ 2.0 again with the
yes.
It really does. It really does have the OJ type coverage because he's a magnetizing, polarizing figure.
There was a split screen because I was pulling cuts for the cut sheet yesterday, and there was a split screen of their panel and then the plane on this. I was just like, oh my Lord!
Yes,
like we're doing this again, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe, and I watched 20 minutes of it because I've seen it now 3 times, and it's the same thing every time.
We've seen this movie.
Like there's just nothing to really watch or break down or analyze. An arraignment's a relatively quick procedure. Trump's going to get off of a plane. He's going to get into a black SUV. He's going to get out. He's going to walk through a door. Then he's going to come back out, do the same process, and go home and get back to the golf course. Or last night showing up at somebody's party, I believe, on his property, and the place goes nuts, and he's socializing. He does all the things that Joe Biden does not do, nor the stuff that Joe Biden would ever get that kind of ovation and reaction for. So yesterday I thought was interesting from the standpoint of at the end as he's getting out and he gives his brief statement, and it was very brief. We'll save the audio for the cut sheet, I believe. But it had an ominous feel to it. It was starting to rain. It was getting a little cloudy and dark. He's under this black umbrella.
You can play it now if you want to.
You want to play the audio now? Yeah. Okay. Because it was very brief, and I think he's just at the point now where this is standard operating procedure, just another day in the life of Trump. And he had this to say briefly before the media after his festivities wrapped up yesterday in the courts.
It's cut 9, Daniel.
Well, thank you very much. This is a very sad day for America, and it was also very sad driving through Washington, D.C. and seeing the filth and the decay and all of the broken buildings and walls and the graffiti. This is not the place that I left. It's a very sad thing to see it. When you look at what's happening, this is a persecution of a political opponent. This was never supposed to happen in America. This is the persecution of the person that's leading by very, very substantial numbers in the Republican primary and leading Biden by a lot. So if you can't beat him, you persecute him or you prosecute him. We can't let this happen in America. Thank you very much.
Do you want these trials to happen before the 2024 election?
He was very brief there, obviously did not respond to any of the follow-up questions, Mary, but I do like the phrase there, if you can't beat him, persecute him and prosecute him. I don't know if that's a T-shirt, if it's a campaign slogan, but that had a nice little ring to it, and he's the master of doing that.
He is. He's fantastic at doing it. And I love one time that conservatives actually controlled the narrative and the media and the message and the language because they call it Trump Force One. I love that.
Yep.
I love it.
He's also very good in these settings when he's under attack and he is under attack, but he does a great job of playing the victim. He sits there and talks about, this is a terrible day for America. He obviously knows it's a terrible day for him. So he's actually good in 2 realms. He can play the victim really well, but he can also try to be the martyr. We're saying, he's like, I'm doing this for you. They arrested me because they're coming for you. This is a bad look for our country. He doesn't say really so much that it's a bad look for him. And he's also sitting there pointing out, hey, when I left Washington, D.C., the city was in much better shape than it is now, which I think is an undeniable fact. And it's a lot like that in many of the big cities across this country. So he's very good as soon as he rolls out of privacy and gets in front of the public eye. He is great at spinning the way he needs it to be spun. If you could give a master's dissertation on spin control and playing the certain victim, he would be the guy I would like to take a class for.
He's good at marketing.
Yeah, well, I mean,
right?
He's from the business world, right?
Right, exactly. And and Republicans did follow. Some Republicans followed his lead as far as getting the message out there. Matt Gaetz and Ron DeSantis, two of them, very good at doing that. And I think they kind of followed Trump, and they had it in them anyway, but they followed his lead. Mm-hmm. I just wish more Republicans would follow his lead as far as messaging goes, because they're just so ham-fisted about it.
Yes, they are. So Joe Biden got on his bike again yesterday. I don't believe we saw any visual of a spill or a fall, so that was good. Joe gets on the bike, he rides the pedals, he pedals, and unlike me, he won't do 65 miles to Atlantic City, but he didn't hurt himself. And he was asked yesterday about whether or not he would follow the latest Trump arraignment, and Joe Biden said no. He was very brief. The question was, Mr. President, you will be following the arraignment today, sir, asked cameraman Jay McMichael as the commander-in-chief cycled towards him along a path in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Joe with a simple no yesterday. That's the best part of all of this is, Joe, no, I don't, I'm trying to run the nation. I don't have time for these prosecutions against Donald Trump. Let the courts figure it out. As if this guy is not interested, not orchestrating, or certainly not trying to prosecute and persecute, as Trump has said, his top political rival, which is a very arrogant thing. I already know what he would say, but I would like to hear others from the Biden administration give us more on this. But this, again, goes back to what I've said for a long time with this administration. The arrogance and the elitist, snobby, we look down upon the media, which is a direct slap in the face to the citizens of this country, because I've long thought that real journalists are there for the everyday person that can't get to ask the question or get the answers to the questions that they are seeking. And it's almost a way of thumbing your nose at this nation. And you'd be able to get away with it more, Mary, if you actually accomplished something, if you were a very successful administration. But when you look at all of their errors and their bumbling ways, there's no humility with this group. It's like, no, we're going to be here for 8 years, so you might as well get used to the way we operate.
Right, and I don't want to jump ahead, and if I am, you can tell me to just be quiet. But there was this op-ed in the New York Times yesterday, written by a big liberal who said, "Hey, maybe it's us this problem with this liberal elitism that we see, that they look down, as smelly. We go into Walmart, you can smell the people. These people aren't college educated, so they're idiots, they're rubes, they're rednecks, they're hillbillies. All this." He's like, well, maybe it's us. Maybe we're the problem. Maybe it's our attitude that's the problem.
Yep.
And I thought, oh my gosh, someone had a moment of self-reflection. Don't worry, it'll be over soon.
Right. And what you're referencing is David Brooks's column, his op-ed piece in the New York Times. Apparently, he is a notable never Trumper, and he questioned in his latest column, what if liberal elites are the bad guys? When I think about it, you've seen the middle class shift towards Republican. You've seen the working class, I should say what's left of the middle class, because it feels like we're on our way to either you're in the 1% or you're broke, because I do think they want to decimate the middle class, but that's neither here nor there. You have this elitist mentality now, like the working class, the middle class. They've all shifted, and I don't want to say all of them, I'm just generalizing here, but they've slid more to the Republican Party. They've shifted more conservative, which is weird because I felt like when I was a younger guy and I didn't know anything about politics and I just observed from afar and paid attention to the mainstream media, it felt like it was vice versa. Now it feels like a complete role reversal with the parties and who they resonate with, Mary.
Yeah, and he's onto something. There was a, and excuse me if I get too deep into the weeds here, there was a study done A lot of studies have been done on right-wing authoritarianism, and this was just recently published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, which I'm sure we all subscribe to. and they did a study on left-wing authoritarianism, and that's one of the things that goes along with left-wing authoritarianism is thinking that you are smarter than everybody else in the room, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that violence is acceptable and okay because the people that you are fighting against are less than you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's they call it anti-hierarchical aggression.
Yep.
They agree with statements like the rich should be stripped of their belongings and status. We need to replace the established order by any means necessary. The second thing is censorship.
Right.
Right, you were just talking about censorship, right?
Yep.
I should have the right to not be exposed to offensive views. Yep. And then the last thing is all political conservatives are fools, feeling anti-conventionalism. The old-fashioned ways, old-fashioned values need to be abolished. So that sounds super familiar, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I'll tell you what, there was a time when I was doing sports. You talk about the smartest guy in the room mentality. When I was covering, I shouldn't say covering, I wasn't a journalist, but the Philadelphia Eagles, when they were coached by Andy Reid, when he would do his post-game press conferences or his weekly midweek presser, he would always speak down to the Philadelphia media. He would always chum it up with the national media, but he would speak down to the the local media when they're trying to get answers to questions that certainly the fan base wanted to know about. And Andy Reid always gave off this elitist mentality of, I know more about football than you do. Don't question me. I'm the smartest guy in the room. And I think a lot of us out there have been in these situations, whether it's in politics or news, media, sports, any walk of life, the professional workplace, in the classroom. Nobody really likes the guy or the lady that comes off as, I'm the smartest person in the room. They're not relatable. They're not willing to budge, and they're very arrogant. Those are qualities that really don't resonate with a lot of people.
No, but the best way to deal with people like that, I find, is I always try to be very polite and very nice, and I never launch the first grenade, but I just ask some simple questions like, okay, well, you said something about that, whatever it happens to be. I go, could you provide me a link to that so I could read and learn about it?
Yeah.
I got blocked 3 times yesterday on Twitter because I asked people if they could provide me a link to back up their claim.
You got blocked 3 times on Twitter?
Yeah, yesterday. It was a good day.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't Twitter that shut you down. It was the individuals that blocked you.
Right, because I asked them simple questions about, and then they start to scream and they start to call you names and everything else.
Right.
So, and I would just say, so you don't have a link?
You can't provide me your sources?
Yeah, could you give me something to back it up? I'm willing to hear.
Yeah.
I'm like, teach me,
right.
Educate me. I want to know more. And then they get very upset and then they block me 3 times yesterday. Like I said, it was a good day.
There you go.
Greg's head would explode.
Oh, man.
Can we stop getting our news from Twitter?
Can we stop conversing with human beings on Twitter? Just stay off of it. 855-839-1210, the phone number. All right, coming up next, DeSantis v. Newsom. The debate is on, but is this the undercard? Why is the undercard being so hyped up? We'll get to that when we come back. It's Kayal and Company. Mary's in for Dawn here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Kelly from Emmons Roofing and Siding, and I have some exciting news to share. Emmons has partnered with SunPower, the top-rated home solar company in New Jersey. SunPower has been leading the solar industry for over 37 years and is the only U.S. solar company that's lasted longer than their 25-year warranty. Kill the bill. The energy bill, that is. Imagine no more high energy bills, while all the while helping reduce your carbon footprint at no cost to you. It's a win-win. Yes, we now offer solar, but remember, if you need a new roof, siding, doors, windows, or interior remodeling, don't wait. Right now, Emmons is offering all 1210 listeners 10% off roofing, siding, and Anderson windows. And we are continuing to offer 12-month same-as cash financing. And don't forget that lifetime warranty on your roof. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 856-885-6677, emmonsroofing.com. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, kitchens, baths, and solar. Trust Emmons to be your first and last stop for all your home improvement needs. emmonsroofing.com.
If the market volatility of the past year has made you nervous about your retirement future, you're not alone.
So many people are waiting for the perfect time to retire. And those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
But that doesn't mean that it's hopeless. Jim Cipriotti has been helping people get to, through, and beyond retirement for over 20 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, now on Saturday mornings at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Yeah, women's soccer is on the world stage, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel Sportsbook. It's America's #1 sportsbook in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. Right now, new customers can get a no-sweat first bet of up to $1,000. That's right, $1,000. $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Just go to FanDuel.com and join today. Don't miss your chance to get a no-sweat first bet of up to $1,000 when you join FanDuel today. Just go to FanDuel.com/Greg and sign up now. FanDuel.com/Greg. I love the FanDuel app. Make every moment more with FanDuel. It's America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. 21 and over, President PA. First online real money wager, only $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Download the free Odyssey app, AUDACY, and take us along wherever you're going this summer. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
Something's at the edge of your mind. You don't know what it is. Something you were hoping to find. You're not sure what it is.
It's Kayal and Company, 6:47 Friday morning. Good to have all of you in as we work our way toward the weekend. 855-839-1210 is how you climb aboard. Nick Kayal, Mary Walter, in for Dawn Stensland, Greg Stocker. YouTube, Odyssey app, social media, all sorts of ways to interact and consume the show. And, of course, we still want to see your work setup.
Show us yours, right?
Show us yours.
Yeah.
Post those pictures, how you watch Kayal and Company on YouTube, whether it's a TV, a smart device, an office, a garage, at work, your home setup, whatever it is.
And if you haven't done so yet, download the Odyssey app as well, because there's new cover art for the Kayal and Company program.
Yeah.
And I want to get your feedback, people's feedback. Yesterday, people were taking the image of you, myself, and Dawn, and putting it in grocery bags and stuff. So let us know what you think of it. Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app. It's free. Everything's free.
Everything's free. We just give it away on this show.
We do. Everything we do is free.
Sound of Freedom tickets coming up today. Morning mystery movie clip. So good stuff there. Also,
excuse me, may I just ask a question about the new logo?
Yeah.
Greg, did they not give you any kind of warning that they were shooting this picture?
No, this was actually planned.
It was planned by me, actually.
Because would it have killed you to shave?
Yeah, probably.
I
look, Mary, it's a look, okay? I was trying to go for a look.
He was trying to
Oh, we're going for homeless? What was the look?
Look, I do chic homeless better than anybody.
Oh, it's chic homeless.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mary, you think the beard was interesting there in that picture. You should have seen when he came back from vacation. For a good 2.5 weeks or so, he had a real solid beard game going.
I did. For me, because I have blonde hair, it's really hard for me to grow a nice beard. Like, I can't do what Kayal does.
Right.
But I tried.
But you could, brush your hair, right?
Well, I can't do what Greg does on top of his head. So if you merge Stocker's
That's
hair
true.
with my beard, we'd be a hairy individual.
I have to say, Dawn looks lovely.
Of course she does.
Dawn, of course, is
does.
totally put together. And then I was like, Greg, honey, did they not tell you about this?
To see what we're talking about, just download the Odyssey app right now, Odyssey.com. The Odyssey app there, yeah. No, look, I mean, yeah, it's fine.
But just to clue Mary in on as to why Dawn looks as good as she does. Well, number one, it's genetics. So she's got that in her favor. Unlike me, I've got my dad's hairline and the whole bit. But, we did this photo shoot after 12 o'clock. So, I was done with the show at 10, and Greg had, brand manager responsibilities for a little bit. And then Dawn was on the air until noon. So we figured, by 12:05, 12:10, she'll be out. We'll get the photos done. I'll be on the road by 12:30.
Not so much.
A 1:45 comes around. Here comes Dawn after being in the bathroom for 45 minutes.
Yeah, she cleaned up. Imagine that.
I thought maybe she had a bad burrito the night before.
No, she was cleaning it up. We did, Nick.
No.
You and I just rolled right out of bed, did the show, and then did this.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
You should have, I'm just saying, there should have been maybe a little hair and makeup done. For all three of you, not just the lovely Dawn, but I'm just saying all three, there could have been a little hair and makeup.
Some have said I should use a little powder on the head for the camera purposes. But
it gets a little shiny.
It does. But you know what? Stars burn bright, baby. I can't help it.
Take a
little powder.
Take that image and do with it what you will, people.
Yes, exactly.
Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app now.
There you go. All right, so it's very interesting how this DeSantis-Newsom rivalry has kind of come about. It's like if we have Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and this was like WrestleMania, we got Hulk Hogan versus the Macho Man, but yet Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom is like Jake the Snake versus Rick Rude.
Yeah, nobody knows what you're talking
It's
about.
really interesting.
I have no idea where we're going.
They're a very good. It's a compelling matchup. It's like a mid-card match right now, though. It's not the main event yet. The hype around it is fascinating because DeSantis hasn't really elevated himself and had his profile take off because he's being drubbed by Trump. And then there's Newsom on the other side. Yeah, I'm not running. He's laying low in the weeds. It feels like a shadow campaign. It's almost like he's just kind of waiting to see the way things play out with Joe and what happens with Kamala. But we had this buildup, and Hannity kind of started it. Well, now it is official because if you remember back in, I think it was June 12th, for some reason it sticks out as the date in which Gavin Newsom was on Fox News with Hannity. And, Hannity was saying, I'd like to get you and Ron DeSantis and others down for a debate. And I'll say, all right, Gavin, economy, 90 seconds, go. I'll get out of it. You go. And then Ron will go. And Gavin was like, oh, yeah, I've been trying to do this for a while. I'm ready. Let me know when Ron wants to jump in. Well, we actually have the audio. DeSantis recently on with Hannity, and it appears that the undercard is now official. Take a listen to this.
You heard Gavin make the offer. Your answer is?
Absolutely. I'm game. Let's get it done. Just tell me when and where. We'll do it. And here's the thing, Sean. I mean, in one respect, the debate between California and Florida, has already been had, as you suggest. People have been voting on that. They've been voting on it with their feet. They have fled California in record numbers. Florida has been the #1 state for net in-migration. We have the #1 ranked economy, #1 now in education, crime rate at a 50-year low. But in another sense, this is the debate for the future of our country, because you have people like Joe Biden. They would love to see the Californication of the United States. Biden may not even be the nominee. You could have Gavin Newsom. You could have Kamala Harris. And I think if we go down that direction, that's going to accelerate American decline. We can't see America decline anymore. We need to reverse American decline.
So it looks like it is official. An aide to California Governor Gavin Newsom said DeSantis should, quote, put up or shut up. Anything else is just games. Well, it looks like the games are over. Also, an aide to Newsom told Politico that the governor was also in Newsom's office, had sent a formal request offer to Fox News last week with proposed debate dates of November 8th or November 10th. So that will be coming up a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving in all likelihood. Mary, I got to tell you, I know it's not the same as Trump. Trump draws all the viewers for debates, but I am absolutely anticipating this. I think this will be a very compelling watch on TV.
I have really, really, really mixed emotions about this.
Why is that?
There are two guys who are trying to raise their profiles.
Yep.
Right? That's what this is about. And Newsom hasn't even announced yet.
Yep.
So just announce, get in the game. If you're serious, announce and get in the game. Instead of trying to, just raise your profile coyly.
What do you think it would take for him to get in the game? What has to break in the next couple of weeks or months for him to officially throw his name in?
I don't know. Does he have to get permission from the DNC, from the dark overlords? I have no idea.
That's my theory.
The DNC is trying to rig this primary for Biden.
Right.
They don't want their constituent, their voters, the members of their party, to be able to have a say.
Right.
Which is pretty much the way the Democrat Party has been going for a really long time. They're just becoming full-blown authoritarian at this point in the game, right? And their followers, their members will vote for them, and that take their choice away, and they'll be like, okay, and that's fine. So I think Gavin Newsom's maybe playing a little bit of a game with the DNC.
It's interesting to the point of nobody can jump in and kind of spar with Joe. So says the DNC. We don't want RFK Jr. involved. He doesn't.
Right.
He doesn't adhere to all of our ideologies. Gavin does. But I got to imagine. This is just a theory of mine that they've had conversations. Look, hey, you are the future. Just wait your time. Your time is coming. If something obviously develops here with Joe's health or legal or political or whatever it might be, Hunter, we got you in the wings. You're kind of like that the up and coming guy on a sports franchise that's just not ready yet to go in and take over as the leader of the team. But the coach and the general manager have said, hey, like we like you. You've got the talent. You're gonna be the guy eventually. Just ride it out a little bit longer. That's the vibe I get from the DNC.
But think how interesting the Democrat debates, the primary debates would be with RFK, with Gavin Newsom, with Joe Biden, right? It would be really interesting, which is kind of part of the reason I want to see Trump become part of the primary debates for on the Republican side. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of the more the merrier.
Yes.
I don't vote personality. I vote based on, what your policies are,
Mm-hmm.
And where you want to take the country. I don't care if you're a nice person or not. You're not coming over for dinner. So it doesn't bother me at all. I don't care how you speak or any of those things. That doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as Gavin Newsom and DeSantis goes, it would kind of be interesting because everybody's leaving Newsom's state to move to DeSantis's state.
And here's the haymaker he can throw on top of that. Your ex-wife's family left your state for my state.
Yeah.
I mean, how does he respond to that? Like, it's almost like a low blow for DeSantis, but he'll do it. He absolutely will pull that one out. I mean, he just said yesterday, on day one, I'm going in and I'm slitting throats.
And I think, right, and I think on DeSantis' side, I think it does raise his profile. I think it will do for him exactly what he's looking for it to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Kind of reboot. He's looking for a reboot. They totally messed it up from the launch on Twitter Spaces, right?
I
Twitter
agree.
Live. That was a disaster of a launch.
I agree. I mean, I know Dawn disagreed with me when I talked about that because she was able to stick with it through the technical issues longer than I was. I gave it 17.
I punched out.
I checked out, and I'm not a guy that usually has a short attention span. I can deal with a little bit of static or whatever it might be. But I thought it was a unique way to go about doing it, and I was willing to give him the chance. But if you're going to take that oddball approach or that what you think is the new wave or whatever it might be with Elon Musk and kind of ride the hot name, it better come off glitch-free. And that was a disaster, and I don't think he's ever recovered from that.
No, and the campaign's not being run well. Obviously,
no.
He needs to. Some people need to go. Some people need to leave.
Who he needs to get rid of too? And don't label me a sexist. He needs to get rid of that Christina Purashaw that runs a lot of their social stuff. She's a pain in the butt. I see her. I just see her
Other than
stuff.
being a pain in the butt, is she good at the job?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
But I try to. The one thing that really does turn me off on Twitter is seeing the Trump apologists on Twitter against the DeSantis apologists on Twitter. The influencers, the people that are actually paid by both Never Back Down and MAGA Inc. to kind of smear the other one. And I get it. It's the game. It's politics. It's not a surprise. But when I see those two like always doing the, well, remember when you did this? And that's when I log off of Twitter.
She never comes across my timeline, so I don't know why, but maybe I'm just lucky. I don't know. She doesn't come across my timeline. Listen, it's too early for me. We've got the Republican debate coming up later this month, this month, the 24th. Will I watch it? Yes, like a crazy person. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yep. I will sit there with my beer and my popcorn, and because I'm such a dork, I'll probably be making notes while I'm at it.
Oh, what beer are we going with? Don't bury the lead here.
Oh, Yingling, of course.
Okay, just making sure it wasn't Bud Light.
We've got Yingling on tap in this house, dude.
You have Yingling on tap?
Yeah.
Can I get an invite?
If you would like to, yes, absolutely. We have a little tap room,
right.
double-headed tap.
I'll take a pint.
Usually Yingling and Blue Moon.
By the way,
nice.
on the YouTube chat this morning, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. If you're watching right now, please hit the like button. Mary is taking some shots for broadcasting from her shed again.
Oh, she is?
So.
Oh, it's a free shed Friday. I like Mary's setup. Nothing wrong with that.
Somebody said she shed. It's her shed. It's her shed.
It's her she
Again,
shed.
I wish I could show you, but it's an old bathroom from probably was put in like the 1920s, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, as Mary said yesterday when this topic came up on the show,
The room has one window, people.
Wow.
It's true. It has one, and it's kind of cloudy today, so it's and we have an awning, and it's in the attic, so it's in like an eave, so it's a small window.
You've made his soundboard, Mary.
That's correct.
I know. I'm somebody. I'm very excited.
That's right.
Does that get deleted when I'm on Monday when I'm not here?
No.
It goes right out, right?
No, it does not. And the reason being?
This is radio, people.
Greg Stocker.
Who pulls this stuff?
I
for
have
you?
no
And
idea.
They
I
need
have
to
no
be
idea.
fired.
I can't reveal my sources.
Okay.
And you can subpoena me all you want. I'm not telling you.
Do Greg and I do the people thing to get a lot?
Yeah. You guys do mention the audience as people.
Well, I mean, that's what they are, right?
It's very condescending, by the way.
People. They're people.
I've got the audience's back on this one.
It's pretty much the only safe term you can use.
That's correct.
Did you ever see the oh God, I'm on a tangent. That show Community?
Of course, love that show.
Right? And remember they wound up when they were trying to pick a mascot, everybody was offended and they just wound up with the people. They were just people.
Absolutely.
Everybody was offended.
And it had no eyes and no hair color and no skin color.
Oh God.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're way past due for a break. 7:01. Hour number two
has started.
Hour 2 has started, but we'll step aside, pay some bills, and we'll come back. A couple of local stories from Eagles center Jason Kelsey being dad-shamed to a Montgomery County boy going viral in a nationwide mullet contest. He's reached the finals. Can we get a victory? We'll break it down and analyze it on the other side. Kayal and Company, Hour 2 is underway, and it continues next.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axes...
What if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getearly to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
So many listeners are enjoying beautiful, easy-to-maintain homes thanks to Rhino Shield, and you can too. Dom Giordano here with my good friend, the local owner of Rhino Shield. John, take it away.
John from Rhino Shield here, reminding you that when it comes to painting your home, there is a better way. We all know that traditional paint just doesn't last, and that's why painters only offer a 1-year guarantee. But Rhino Shield is different. Our elastomeric ceramic house paint is warranted for 25 years, so you'll never paint again. Don't spend your money on regular paint that just doesn't last. Invest instead in a product that will protect your home and look beautiful for years to come. Let Rhino Shield show you how you can be done with frequent painting. Call us today at 484-406-5111 for a free consultation, or find us online at www.myrhinoshield.com.
You've been wanting to check out that news story that everyone's talking about, but you just can't find the time. That's why the On Deadline podcast is here. We pull together interviews from Odyssey's radio newsrooms across the country and add important context so you can really get the news fast. From wildfires and catastrophes at sea to new laws and presidential candidates, we'll have coast-to-coast coverage for you all in one place. Subscribe to On Deadline on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Listen to live Black App free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes. Home run. Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Drive in with Kayal and Company mornings 6 till 10. Drive home with Rich Zioli afternoons 3 till 7. Live and local on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
7:05 Friday morning. It is Kayal and Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Nick Kayal, Mary Walter in for Dawn Stensland, Greg Stocker, Daniel Valdez. What's on the cut sheet coming up at 7:45. A couple of A-listers on a Friday will make an appearance on What's on the Cut Sheet. That's coming up in just about 40 minutes. You can be a part of the show, 855-839-1210. Get us on YouTube, as many of you like to do, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. I did see a couple of comments yesterday in the YouTube chat. I was going back last night and going through some of the show on YouTube, breaking down the film, studying the tape.
Wait. You were breaking down the YouTube
That's
video
correct.
Yesterday.
Going through a couple of things, some of the stuff that we were discussing, and I didn't even realize that the comment section kind of goes back, and you can see like those comments as you're going along with the replay of the show. And people were saying that we need to alter who won Twitter today to who won YouTube today, which I disagree with. I think we should maybe generalize it and say who won social media today.
No, we tried that before. I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I think it has to be specific to Twitter.
Okay.
Because the problem is that we have a lot of people that now that we're on YouTube, Twitter was our first love.
Yes.
And people feel slighted because Twitter doesn't get the love. So I think crowning somebody winner of Twitter today is a badge of honor.
Okay.
So I think we continue with the who won Twitter.
Because the evolution has been from Twitter to then you pandered for Instagram follows.
Yeah, well,
and then you kind of you ditched Instagram for YouTube.
I didn't ditch anybody. You can follow all of the. By the way, if you're watching right now on the YouTube channel, Daniel does a very good job of at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
All of our social medias are right there, so you can subscribe to whatever you want to.
That is correct. It actually looks like a TV presentation that Valdez puts on. He does a good job back in that little booth.
Yeah.
It's not as
he
little
does a lot of work.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. It's not as small as the booth that Mary Walter is broadcasting from. But,
Does he have a clawfoot tub, a toilet, and a sink in his booth? I don't think so. Okay.
A clawfoot tub. Wow.
How about
Yeah,
that?
it's a big clawfoot tub, and none of it works. None of
yeah,
this stuff works.
None of it works. All right. We got some local stories that are pretty fun here we'll get to right now. I want to start with this story. West Pottsgrove boy, 6 years old, reaches the National Mullet Contest Finals. This is a fabulous story, so shout out to this kid and his parents. The Inquirer says, once scorned as the scruffy haircut of good old boys in hockey centers, the mullet is said to be making something of a comeback. And who better to lead the resurgence of the famously described as business in the front, party in the back than 6-year-old Rory Ehrlich of West Pottsgrove, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, who is a finalist in the USA Mullet Championships, which surprisingly is based in Michigan. I would have thought maybe Arkansas or Mississippi, not Michigan for mullets, but it is Michigan. He is currently number 25 out of an original 399 that entered the age 5 to 8 category. So they actually have age brackets here for the mullets because the 6-year-old can't compete against the 9-year-old with a mullet.
So
right?
if you're watching right now on YouTube, the video or the photo of this boy's mullet is up there. That is a sweet mullet.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, that's almost, for some reason, I just had a flashback to Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, that's straight out of 1990 mullet.
That is.
Right?
Greg, you had a mullet, didn't you?
Of course.
I knew it. I
have
knew
one
it.
now.
I was going to say you kind of have like a modified guy, like the guy who just can't quite give it up mullet right now.
Yeah. A modified mullet.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's not a mullet, but this is the best my wife will let me have.
It's true. She's always yelling at me for not getting my hair cut.
It's it is an interesting look. It's never been my thing. Even when I could grow hair, I was never compelled to do one. I kind of feel like it's the mustache. I think people do it for reaction and reaction only. I don't know that people actually really enjoy the mullet. I think it's done to elicit a response from civilization.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, in the late 80s and early 90s, it was done because it was fashionable.
Yes.
Now it's just ironic, like
I think
hipsters.
I think it's a troll job now. I think people do it to get people to comment, to get under their skin.
Yeah.
The skullet is an interesting one because that takes a look where you're basically going bald. It would be like me growing a mullet and yet still trying to keep some of my hair on top of my head with a receding hairline.
Kind of like the Michael Bolton, Kenny G thing.
Yeah.
It's like I can still grow hair. See, it's back here.
That's correct.
I can still grow hair.
So apparently the way this is developed, and you can see the pictures of this kid's mullet on YouTube, out of nowhere one day, Rory announced to his family that he wanted a mullet. That is according to his mom, Erin Ulrich, 33, who works in the Human Resources Department of a biopharmaceutical company.
And where's this kid from? Pottstown?
West Pottsgrove.
Oh, Pottsgrove, okay.
Yep, Montgomery County.
Yeah, sure.
Quote, "We're not sure how it came about," Ehrlich said Wednesday afternoon on the family's 10-acre farm. "He has a mind of his own. He also has a laptop, safeguarded by strict parental controls, of course, that allows him to watch baseball games, and yes, the Phillies are his favorite baseball team."
Of course.
Quote, "I noticed lots of ball players have mullets," Ehrlich said, perhaps aware that Phillies players such as John Kruk, Mitch Williams, and Austin Davis, some of the 90s Phillies, once adorned their heads in such a manner. That could be it. But when he was 5, Rory, now a rising first grader at West Pottsgrove Elementary School, marched into Sal's barber shop in Boyertown, and he asked the barber, Owen Thomas O'Connor, for a mullet straight up. Quote, "He actually showed me a picture of a guy with a mullet, and at first we did it spiky on top with a good flow of his blonde hair in the back. Now he's into a flat top." So this kid, from day one, he knew what he wanted.
Absolutely.
This kid will be a winner in life.
By the way, he has a beautiful head of hair. Like he
does.
Actually, he should ditch the mullet and just let his hair grow long.
Yeah?
Like
Like Fabio?
Well, no, give it not that long.
Okay.
But like long.
Yeah.
Longer.
Yeah, let me ask you this, because I love conversations like this.
Yeah.
When you have your hair like you do, Stucker, do you ever put your hair up in like a ponytail or anything? A man bun?
No, sometimes.
It's just too much work for Greg. I just get I don't know Greg that well, but I get the vibe that that's just too much work.
Way too much information here, but I have my wife has those like hair bands.
Yeah.
That, and sometimes.
You put them on the front of your head, right?
A ponytail holder.
Yeah, if I'm working out or if I'm working out in the yard or something like that, I'll put that on. Just
okay.
Wait, you walk outside like that?
Sometimes. It's my backyard. Nobody can see me.
Oh, a headband. So you put like a headband on to hold your hair back.
Yeah, like when you're doing a little cardio on the treadmill. Maybe you put that up to keep it from bouncing in your face.
May I just put a word out to Greg's neighbors?
Yeah.
Could someone please, the next time he's out there in his dad jeans that are all ripped, mowing the lawn with his snazzy wife's hairband on in public on the front yard, could someone please take a picture and send it in?
I have neighbors that are listeners, so this is definitely going to happen.
I know the Daily Mail has all sorts of paparazzi camera people. Like if the Daily Mail can get Jack Nicholson photographed over a fence as he emerges onto his deck for the first time in 3 years, I think we can snap a few pictures of Stalker when he's least expecting it.
By the way, everybody says, "Hey, you have a mullet." I don't, because my hair is equally as long in the front as it is in the back.
That's correct. It would not constitute a mullet.
No, so mullets are when it's short up top and then long in the back. Like this kid has the quintessential mullet.
Yes,
he does. He does. Just on, I noticed on YouTube, 91LS. I don't know what their handle is. Says, Greg, do you wear a headband while doing your Richard Simmons sweating to the oldies?
Reach for the sky. What happened to Richard Simmons? He's like a recluse now or something, isn't he?
Yeah, a lot of people are that these
He doesn't
days.
come out of his house.
It's like Jack. Jack is that way. You're kind of like that way. If you didn't have to work, you wouldn't leave either.
I wouldn't, no.
All right, this segment brought to you by Discover Lancaster. Discover more of Lancaster. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Head to the Turkey Hill Experience to enjoy samples and even make your own flavor in the Taste Lab. Just a 90-minute drive from Philadelphia. Visit discoverlancaster.com to plan your getaway. And I'm glad we've got that corrected now with the way to pronounce.
Thank you.
Yes.
Lancaster.
I've butchered it 3 different ways.
Lancaster.
You said Lancaster. Is it Lancaster? Is that what we're saying?
So it's like L-A-N-G and then kiss and then T-E-R. Lancaster.
So you added G, Lancaster.
Yeah, like Kenny G. I added the
That
G.
just doesn't sound at all like what I thought it was.
I know. I've said Lancaster, 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 and they're all wrong. Lancaster.
I say Lancaster.
Right.
But I do love a good Turkey Hill ice cream.
Well, so does Joe Biden. I mean, come on. Chocolate chip. He loves his ice cream. All right. So from that local story to, I got to defend Jason Kelsey here. And we got to defend all the girl dads out there, which I raise my hand. I have twin daughters. I got to come to the rescue of our Eagles center. So Jason Kelsey's wife is now sniping back at dad shamers over a viral video. So Jason Kelsey's wife, Kayal, was not happy with negative comments. How about that? What breaking news? There are negative comments on social media. Yeah. I never knew that. I thought everybody just got along and we were one big happy family, but apparently comments about the couple's kids on social media. And I guess there's a reason why some people don't post anything about their children on social media, and maybe this is one of the reasons why. But after the NFL and the Philadelphia Eagles shared a joint video on Instagram of the Veterans Center playing with his 2 daughters, Wyatt, 3, and Elliot, 2, during training camp, Kayal, his wife, fired back at those, claiming in the comments that Kelsey, 35, was playing fetch with his kids. I believe Valdez will show you the video once he has it up.
Yeah, it's up now.
Okay, so it is up. And Jason Kelsey is just laying on the field, his shirt off. He's exhausted from camp. He's throwing the football 20 yards down the field. His cute little daughter, probably 3 years old, jogging down to get the football and bringing it back. And people are saying that he's basically playing fetch with his kids.
God.
This is why I hate human beings.
I do this with my son all the time.
Yes.
I take a ball and I throw it. He runs after it. He brings it back. He thinks it's hysterical.
Right. Because the reality is, I'm guessing the 3-year-old daughter, if she was standing down at the other end 20 yards away, would not be able to catch a football from Jason Kelsey, much less throw it back to him. So you play fetch with the kid. Yes. And, of course, people have to say stuff because people are morons. So Kayal recently reposted the video, according to SheKnows.com, and wrote, people in these comments saying he's playing fetch with his kids like they are dogs. Just say you don't have toddlers. If you listen, you can hear him counting. So technically, they are racing.
Yep.
Best dad ever. This is one of these things where it's like, if I'm Jason Kelsey and I'm a badass at 35 years old and I'm pretty tough, I play in the NFL, I want to play whack-a-mole with all of these morons on social media. But that's just me, Mary.
Yeah, well, listen, he's smart. He's burning off all that energy because toddlers have a ton of energy, right?
Yeah.
He needs one of those things that's used with the dogs. If you can't throw the way he does, you get that thing to launch the ball, and the dog goes chasing down, and it's just like, right?
Yep.
It'd be great. He'd have to throw it less often because it would go further.
Yes.
I was more shocked to find out that Wyatt and Elliot were girls.
I would think boy names for sure.
Right, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And listen, you name your kids whatever you want. Just realize that later in life they may constantly be explaining that they're girls. But I think they were so cute and so adorable running down. They're so excited. They're playing with dad.
Yes,
right. I mean, we should be promoting dads who are actually interactive in their children's lives, right?
correct.
Shouldn't we be applauding that? Shouldn't that be something we're celebrating?
Yep.
Should he do what Hunter Biden does and not
Right,
acknowledge
yes.
his 4-year-old?
Exactly. Just pretend she's not there.
I know. Yeah, just pretend she doesn't exist. Don't acknowledge her, and you just move on. And hopefully, your grandfather will eventually acknowledge her at some point.
For business purposes.
I just love these people that have nothing better to do with their day and their life than to try to qualify what activity is acceptable for your kids.
By the way, can you imagine how awesome it must be to have Jason Kelce as your dad?
Might be the coolest dad on the planet.
Exactly. The one thing I took issue with was the best dad ever thing, because he's not doing anything any different than most dads
of course
do.
not.
However, having Jason Kelce as your dad,
yes,
it must be amazing.
Yes. The dad that just got done shotgunning beers with producers from the sports station down the hall, now throwing footballs with his daughter after probably a long day of practice, where probably, honestly, the last thing you probably feel like doing is staying on that field any longer than you have to.
Absolutely.
Right?
Do you think they even know that their dad's different than any other dad?
At this point, probably not.
No, they have no clue.
No. Eventually they will. Like, eventually one day my daughters will realize that I'm doing stuff on the radio, and we'll go on in YouTube like, oh, this is what Dad used to do. Right now they don't care because they're not interested. Speaking of daughters, my daughters cannot listen to anything talk radio related.
Of course.
They never could listen to sports radio. They could never listen to certainly what I'm doing now. If it is not like today's hit type music, their attention span just dwindles.
Well, what's funny is that on our TV at home, my son has like, he puts on YouTube sometimes and watches videos and stuff.
Yep.
And our YouTube accounts are linked. I'm definitely going to change that when he gets
so we pop up on
a
that?
little earlier, or when he gets a little older.
Mm-hmm.
But we pop up on that, and sometimes he'll look at and be like, "Oh, Daddy."
Yep.
I'll put it on for 10 seconds. You no, Dad, no, and he goes, "Something else. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this."
and then after he gets tired of watching, what's your son's favorite like Disney show?
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
All right, and once he gets tired of watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, he starts telling Greg he wants to hear more of this.
Maybe we can spend 2 more hours talking about Trump v. DeSantis.
Yeah, it's probably the part you opened up when you're son. You cannot listen to what we were just talking about. We spent 45 minutes on that today, and I'm exhausted. So there you go. All right, 7:22. Good to have everybody in here on this Friday morning. One more story locally when we come back. Fox 29 under siege by the FCC. We'll get to that, and also the audacity of a judge to tell a journalist that they need to reveal their sources. What is going on in this country when it comes to the First Amendment? We'll get to that as we continue. Kayal and Company, stay right there.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Ron had a tax problem he just couldn't handle on his own.
I owed the IRS taxes for over 5 years, but I didn't have any money to pay the taxes.
Those years cost him dearly.
Most of it was fees and interest. It was horrible.
Ron finally called in the pros.
I called Optima Tax Relief, and boy, am I happy I did.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. Ron was overjoyed.
They settled my account with the IRS. I was ecstatic. They are a lifesaver. They are. I am so happy.
Take Ron's advice and call Optima now for a free consultation.
Yeah, don't do like I did and wait. Call Optima Tax Relief. Do it now. You'll be ecstatic like me.
Call 800-956-4775. 800-956-4775. 800-956-4775.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. Talk to your cardiologist today. You may be glad you did.
John was compensated for his time. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
Jalen, over here!
Harley, use your hands.
Ugh, why do you throw so hard, man? That hurts.
Hurts? Not as much as old Windows hurts your energy bills.
Or hurts your home value.
Or hurts your wallet by paying too much.
Take it from Hertz and avoid the hurts. Call Window Nation.
And catch this great deal.
Get 50% off every style window, plus pay nothing for 2 full years. It never hurts to have the very best on your team.
Call Window Nation today. 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
Call now!
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. When you're involved in an accident, you need a lawyer to help you maximize your recovery and get the fair value of your case. You need the law offices of Thomas G. Skopanich. My buddy Tom has been serving the greater Delaware Valley for over 25 years, and he's helped many clients. With offices located in Lansdale, Montgomery County, let Tom help you maximize your recovery and get the fair value for your case. Contact Tom at scopelawyer.com or 215-624-2211.
DuckDuckGo is a browser like Chrome, but it blocks trackers, so it helps stop those creepy ads from following you around. And DuckDuckGo comes with a private search engine like Google, but it doesn't spy on your searches. And there's no catch. It's free. Join the tens of millions of people taking back their privacy and download DuckDuckGo today.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
It's college season, and parents have a lot to consider.
You can say that again.
You got 6 college visits.
2 down.
18 care packages.
I know my baby.
Then there's Parents' Weekend.
Just 1?
Speaking of, when you get a Citizens student loan with multi-year approval, all you need is one easy application. Learn more at citizensbank.com/one-and-done. Citizens, made ready.
It's the silver anniversary at Spring Dance Hot Tubs. You know, this month marks their 25th year of business, and you can save up to $2,500 on select hot tub models from Hot Spring and Caldera Spas. Dawn Stensland here. I love my Spring Dance hot tub. It's the best thing. It's like a little vacation in my own backyard, in the privacy of my own backyard. You got to do this. You got to get one. And for my friends who've followed my advice, they have friends over, they get in the hot tub, the grandkids come over, get in the hot tub, high quality time in the Spring Dance hot tub. For me, after a tough workout, a stressful day, and sometimes just to reconnect, especially with my husband, Larry, just to have a little glass of wine, sit in the Spring Dance hot tub. How you doing, honey? And feel the goodness of your Spring Dance hot tub. Let their jets do the magic. When you buy a new hot tub or swim spa, ask how you can apply for 0% financing for up to 60 months. You can find them in Jamison, Exton, Plymouth Meeting, and Marlton, online at springdancehottubs.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey, Cherry Hill. We know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker, play 1210 WPHT.
Ain't seen nothing yet.
Kayal and Company, 7:28, Friday morning. Nick, Mary, Greg, Daniel. What's on the cut sheet coming up in just about 15 minutes. Also still ahead this morning, a mother of two dies from drinking too much water.
What?
Might have to start rethinking these big jugs of water I consume each day. And if the water won't kill you, McDonald's might.
Oh, boy.
Unless you're Mark Zuckerberg. We will get to Mark Zuckerberg's McDonald's order that is going to probably make you want to find a trash can immediately or a fourth floor stall. 855-839-1210, the number. Newman Price on the YouTube chat saying Jason Kelsey should mimic and copy that kid from Montgomery County's mullet.
Oh, I agree.
We merged the stories together there.
I agree.
Nice work out of Newman Price on YouTube.
Yep.
I'm surprised Jason Kelsey doesn't have a mullet. And also, it is a Show Us Yours Friday. Show us your setup on how you watch and consume Kayal and Company on YouTube. Hasn't been sober, who I believe has been a winner this week of Who Won Twitter.
Twice in a row, yeah.
Okay. So he's got 2 in a row. He sent us his setup down in his, what looks like he's claiming is his self-created dungeon. He's got, looks like a lot of musical and acoustic and audio equipment. He's got a big piano or some sort of keyboard there, multiple monitors, and a bottle of Jack right next to the Kayal and Company screen as he watches us on YouTube. So, yes, if you do want to imbibe in Jack Daniels or any type of whiskey, or any liquor for that matter, while you watch the show, I am totally on board with that.
I would like it noted that yesterday someone said that it looked like I was in a hostage situation here because I'm working from the servant's bathroom. Yeah. That man has a decapitated doll's head on top of a lava lamp, and I look like I'm the one in the hostage situation. Really?
Maybe Hasn't Been Sober is actually Buffalo Bill.
I mean, that is quite the setup there.
It is.
Who dusts that thing? There's a lot going on there. That's the one thing I want to. Whenever I see something like this, I immediately go to who dusts this.
I know. I see a bunch of coffee mugs, the bottle of liquor. I'm just waiting for. I'm trying to zoom in and see if I see a pack of Marlboro Reds in
we
there.
We just tweeted it out. But Daniel, if you could copy it and put it into the YouTube chat so people can see.
Yeah.
I want to know what he does for a living. Look at all that electronic
I'm not sure I do,
equipment.
actually.
He's got the mixer board.
Maybe he's a disgruntled former radio guy.
There you go. There's a tiny violin on the left for playing, I guess, when liberals complain.
That's correct.
I don't know. I think I'd want to hang out with him. Look at all the fun stuff there.
I tell you what, I do like the lava lamp. My parents had like 2 lava lamps when we were kids. We had one down in our rec room, and we also had one in, I think it was like some sort of playroom. The lava lamp should make a comeback. I think they're a nice little touch, especially if you're like a single dude with a cool pad. You get the lava lamp by the nightstand.
There's the photo. Go to youtube.com/@1210WPHT, youtube.com/@1210WPHT to see the photo we're talking about here.
Right. And actually, the picture stays on brand if you think about it with his Twitter handle. Hasn't Been Sober. He's got a bottle of Jack in his setup.
It just looks like one of those places that the police show after the body's been found.
Right.
Like, woman escapes from dungeon.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. So may I tell a quick lava lamp story?
Absolutely.
Do we have like 2 Okay. So living in a house from 1881, it's had a lot of remodels, and there weren't originally bathrooms in this place. So bathrooms were added, and they're small here and there. Actually, the servant's bathroom is one of the largest ones in the house, and it doesn't work. So downstairs on our second floor, right outside of the master bedroom, we had what I referred to. It was redone in the 1970s into like Marsha Brady, the crack whore years. And it was kind of like an avocado. The Harvest Gold, but it was all original bathtub, toilet, and sink. So it was done in the 30s. But then they put in a lovely like brown tile that had daisies on it, and above that was mirror tiles above the wainscot. It was all mirror tiles, and they had like a disco ball light thing in the middle of it. Oh yeah, like you could not go in there drunk. So and every now and then, with humidity, one of the mirror tiles would fall off. So we had spots where it had nothing because I wasn't going to put them back up.
Yep.
So to finish off the look of disco gone bad, we put a lava lamp in that bathroom.
Oh,
I like it.
Yeah.
We figured we can't fight it. We might as well join it at that point.
Yep.
But it has since been redone, and now it no longer is disgusting.
And by the way, you can no longer say master bedroom, Mary. The left said that it was racist when they were revising phrases.
Well, then I'm going to call every bedroom in my home the master bedroom then, just to annoy them.
There you go.
By the way, Navy Prepper on YouTube, on the YouTube chat, would like to clarify, Nick, that it's actually Jim Beam, not Jack Daniels.
Is it Jack? Is it Jim Beam?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought I saw Jack. Jim, Jack. Well, anyway. Yes, it is Jim. No, it's Jack.
No, it's Jim Beam. Put the picture up again, Daniel, please.
The bottle on the left of the laptop, I'm reading it. It says Jack Daniels on the bottle. It's not Jim Beam.
Hang on. Hold please.
It does say Jack Daniels.
Yes.
Oh,
Nick
does
is
it?
correct.
Oh.
Yeah, it says Jack Daniels.
It's, I admit a lot of times I am wrong, but I'm not wrong on this one.
You're right.
It does say Jack Daniels. You're correct.
And who was it that tried to call me out?
Navy Prepper.
A Navy Prepper. I handle all the prep around here. Okay,
boy.
pal.
Oh boy.
You just stick to whatever it is that you do. All right. So how about this? And this is something I want to discuss with Dawn as well, because she used to work at Fox 29. So we'll actually talk about this again a little bit on Monday. But the Fox Corporation, which I believe owns Fox 29, has now... What was that?
They do.
Okay. So they have asked the FCC to dismiss a petition seeking to deny the renewal of Fox 29's broadcast license, which, as we know, is right here in Philadelphia. So here's the backstory to this, and then we'll get into what I think is the issue at hand here. Fox Corporation has asked the Federal Communications Commission to dismiss a recently filed petition seeking to deny the renewal of Fox 29's broadcast license, saying in a new filing that taking the Philadelphia-based station off the air would be, quote, fundamentally incompatible with the First Amendment. Fox Corp's objection, which was filed 2 days ago, is in response to a petition that was submitted in July by the Media and Democracy Project. So another one of these groups that claims to love democracy, yet they just go after democracy. A self-described nonpartisan organization that focuses on media issues. The group asked the FCC not to renew Fox 29's broadcast license because Fox broadcast, quote, knowingly false narratives about the 2020 election on its cable station, Fox News Channel. A, quote, good deal of which was rebroadcast on Fox 29, the group wrote in its petition. In addition, the company said that the petition fails to offer any credible support for claims that Fox 29's broadcasts were run irresponsibly. You can read this story. It's in the Inquirer. But the main thing here is what I said in the first paragraph, the fundamentally incompatible nature with the First Amendment. So what we have here is Fox 29 locally. You have the Fox News Channel. You have Fox Sports, which you'll see on Fox 29, and of course you have Fox as the entity itself. And because Fox 29, and I don't even know if this is the correct terminology anymore, but as an affiliate to Fox, is airing something that they saw on Fox News, as you do when you're in a partnership or you're owned by the same company, you share footage. Now we have this Media and Democracy Project. I'll call them a bunch of self-described losers, and they want to go after Fox 29 at the FCC. This is once again an attack, I believe, Mary, on the First Amendment. This is once again censorship. To me, this is almost the same as trying to get AM radio removed from cars because you want to control the message and you do not believe in diversity of thought. And that is the thing that really irks me.
Well, they're Marxists. They're not losers. They're Marxists.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
And this goes back to that study that I talked about on the rise of left-wing authoritarianism in this country. Mm-hmm. One of the hallmarks of it, one of the definitions of it is the right to censor. I have the right to censor you because of what you're saying, and then they justify it because it's hate speech or it's misinformation or whatever. Mm-hmm. This is where the right needs to wake up. This is where the right needs to learn to play the game that they do. Mm-hmm. They should then slap MSNBC and CNN and any of like ABC, the local affiliates here that broadcast any COVID misinformation, like telling me that if I get the vaccine, I'll never get COVID.
Mm-hmm. Well,
if they broadcast that, then I should come back and say, well, they broadcast COVID misinformation.
What about
and
all
that's
the
how the
times-
game goes.
What about all the times that they trot out Hillary Clinton or
Right.
anybody else on the left? We gave you that montage yesterday in the Big Take. There's a 24-minute clip that you can watch put together by the RNC on Twitter where Democrats are denying the election results. So, I mean, why don't we go after them? If you want to play that game, we can do that.
But we can't, and they know it because we don't. They have huge donors. They have huge pockets. There are so many dark donations that flow to these groups. And if you really follow the money, if you really want to get into the weeds, if you follow the money with a lot of public programs where taxpayer dollars are funneled into these public programs, which are then funneled into these these NGOs, non-governmental organizations that funnel this money into these organizations. The money, your tax dollars, eventually makes its way into a lot of these organizations under the, because they're doing God's work,
right? Yeah,
and so they should be funded, and so you're in a lot of situations paying for a lot of these groups. The Republicans don't have that money flow that the Democrats do. So it's hard.
They go on to say in this story in the Inquirer, in addition, the company said Mad's petition fails to offer any credible support for claims that Fox 29's broadcasts were run irresponsibly. The petition points to the station's airing of Fox News Sunday, which is produced by Fox News Channel, as evidence that the Philadelphia station serves as an over-the-air extension of the cable network. Now, this is interesting if you are a local TV consumer here in Philadelphia. Now, yes, Fox 29 connected with Fox News, but I have never watched Fox 29 compared to NBC 10, CBS 3, or 6 ABC and thought that Fox 29 locally leans right.
Not at all.
Not at all.
They're
just as identical as the other three.
Well, I mean, they employ Steve Keeley, don't they?
Yes.
I mean, so like, no, there's not a no. I don't see that as a plus. By the way, this. If they really do want to go through this, you're going to piss off a lot of Eagles fans.
Yes.
If they don't renew Fox 29's license.
That's correct. Because then you would only get the Eagles when they're on CBS.
Yes. Yep.
Which is only maybe 3 times a year.
Yep.
Most of their games are on Fox 29 because they play in the NFC and Fox has the NFC package. And, yeah, to your point, I mean, yes, Fox 29 will take some stuff from their company from a content standpoint, but it's not like Republicans in Philadelphia watch Fox 29 for Republican talking points.
Not at all.
It's just as much left by and large as 6 ABC, just as much liberal as CBS 3 or NBC 10. And because and the worst part of all of this is what they point out as the evidence. Well, they were airing Fox News Sunday as if Fox News Sunday is like the equivalent of what you get on the Tucker Carlson show or something. It's not like they aired something that Tucker Carlson said. I mean, Fox News on a Sunday morning, I mean, of course there's opinions and stuff, but it's not like primetime hardcore hit you in the face opinionated commentary. The Sunday morning shows are usually mostly interview driven. That's where Stalker gets a lot of his Monday morning cut sheet material from.
Listen, none of this shouldn't even be a conversation that we're having.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't even be a conversation.
Yep.
They shouldn't have to justify it. They should just say First Amendment, free speech.
Yep.
You don't get to decide what is misinformation, disinformation, or anything else. Do I get to go after some of those infomercials that are played at like 2:00 in the morning when they're telling me that this pan is nonstick when I know darn well it isn't?
Right.
Right? Do I get to have them shut down for disinformation?
Mm-hmm.
Because my cake stuck when I bought their whatever pan they were hawking at 2 a.m.
You do your own research as a consumer before you buy a product, right?
Exactly.
Politics
so do your
should
own
be no different.
Thank you.
Yes.
Excellent. Yes, that's the point.
That's the whole point. You look. This is where, as an adult, you get presented two cases, two arguments of an issue at hand or a subject or a story, and as an adult, it's up to you to figure out by doing your own research what you believe or what you believe is true and not. That's part of growing up. You're supposed to learn about that stuff.
You want to see an entire city vote Republican? Mess with the Eagles on Sunday on
That's
Fox
a good
29.
idea.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. For the
Then all of a
first time
sudden-
in 70 years, Philly votes Republican. Why? They took away the Eagles.
That'll change everybody's tune.
Yes.
The hell with free speech aspect. They just want to see the Eagles.
Damn right.
But I wonder if this is just a shot across the bow to kind of, cow the local Fox affiliate into maybe being more in line with the liberal message. To just kind of like, we'll shut you down if you don't broadcast what we want you to broadcast, what we find acceptable.
And a lot of these corporations are scared of their own shadows, so they get two complaints about something. They're like, oh, we got to do something. We got to do something. 2 people on Twitter are complaining.
That was my tangent yesterday.
Yeah.
And then also, before we get to the cut sheet, speaking of the First Amendment and protecting journalism, former Fox News reporter ordered by a judge to reveal an anonymous source. This is another attack on the First Amendment protections of journalism.
She's with CBS now.
Yeah, it's Catherine Herridge. Yeah, which was, Dawn has mentioned many times, was a big get for CBS to pry her away from Fox News. But the ruling was issued by Judge Christopher Cooper of the U.S. District Court of the District of Columbia, ordering now CBS News senior correspondent Catherine Herridge to disclose her source in depositions. The reporting was for a series of 2017 articles about a Chinese-American scientist who subsequently sued the U.S. government for privacy invasion. Herridge, at the time, was a staff reporter for Fox News when the stories were published. I never thought we would get to this point in this country, Mary, where now we have judges that are ordering a journalist to out their source. If that becomes common practice in this country moving forward, we're never going to have real journalism, or whatever's left of real journalism, ever again, because nobody will speak to anybody under the condition of anonymity that, hey, I'll tell you what's going on, but you have to keep me, off the record and not reveal who I am and what I'm about to share with you.
Well, this isn't the first time. In the past, journalists have chosen to go to jail instead of reveal their sources. So this is not the first time this has happened. Not a shock that it's coming out of the district court for D.C., right? Not a surprise at all that it's coming out of there. Catherine Herridge, though, I have to say, when we've talked this week about the blurring of the line between opinion and news, right? And how that has happened, and it's made a lot of people really dumb.
Yep.
That blurring of the line. Catherine Herridge is a straight-on news reporter.
Yes.
She is one of the best. So it's going to be interesting to see what she does here. And what's also going to be interesting to see is, yes, this reporting was done when she was at Fox. It's going to be interesting to see if CBS comes to her defense.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, because if you're CBS and you claim to be a true outlet for journalism and media, you're going to defend one of your own, right?
Yeah. When Catherine Herridge reports something, it's dead on. It's kind of like when someone reports a celebrity's dead, I always go to TMZ, because if TMZ is not reporting it, then I know that it's not true.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Catherine Herridge when it comes to news. If she's reporting something, you can pretty much take it to the bank. She does her due diligence. She has her sources.
Yep.
She double checks everything. She's fantastic. And so my theory is she's probably too close to the truth on something.
Yeah, and she's not one of these people that just throws things out and sees if it sticks on the wall and hides behind, well, according to my source. And then, because there's a lot of people in both news and sports media that throw out stuff under the notion of a source, and I don't think they have a source to begin with, and people call them out for being full of crap. So it's a great point. 7:46 Friday morning. Let's get to an A-list edition of What's on the Cut Sheet.
What's on the Cut Sheet?
What's on the Cut Sheet on this Friday is brought to you by Cherry Hill Volvo, where they have ample inventory of brand new and beautiful pre-owned Volvos. Enjoy luxury experience you deserve. They always go the extra mile for their customers, because relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. Check them out on Route 70 in Cherry Hill. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter. I'm going to piggyback off of what you guys were just talking about Catherine Herridge. She was on yesterday calling out Democratic Representative Dan Goldman and his lies on the Devon Archer testimony. This is what she said during her news report. This is cut 7, Daniel.
Well, earlier this week, we just had to rely on the characterization from Republicans and Democrats about Devon Archer's testimony, but now we can see the full transcript. You'll recall that Democrat Congressman Dan Goldman said that Archer testified that it was the illusion of access to Joe Biden that Hunter Biden was offering to these clients. But in fact, when you look at the transcript, what you see is that that phrase, illusion of access, is in Dan Goldman's question. It's actually not what Devin Archer testified to. He says, yes, but that's not quite fair. This was about showing that there was the signal that there's influence and access here.
That just highlights what we were talking about with her doing the proper due diligence, the vetting, but also kind of going through stuff with a fine-tooth comb and picking up on that, because that is something that we actually played from Dan Goldman's standpoint on one of the big takes earlier this week. I think it was on Tuesday morning when Rooney was in. But, say what you want about mainstream media. I don't think a lot of it applies to Catherine Herridge.
The other thing with this Catherine Herridge thing, there's a little bit of a twist to it, because the ruling, the judge wants her to disclose her source. It was a series of 2017 articles that she was reporting on about a Chinese American scientist who then sued the government for privacy invasions, because Herridge was reporting on this guy being investigated by the feds, and now he's saying that his privacy was violated because the feds leaked his information. Mm-hmm. Which the feds do all the time, right? The feds leak information all the time. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting that this is a judge in the District of Columbia who's trying to find out who leaked the information from the feds to Catherine Herridge.
I got to give a lot of credit to anybody that has ever been in that situation that actually decided to, in order to protect their source, and they would go to jail for it. I mean, I don't know that I would. I think I might actually have to squeal.
That's why you're not a reporter.
I was just going to say that.
That's why I'm not a journalist.
It was them, Your Honor. It was them.
It was Bill. Sorry. It was Bill Johnson who told me. Here's his number.
I haven't had my nap. I need to go home.
Yes. Do you guys give naps in prison?
By the way, if you're watching right now, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. We are 2 likes away from 100. So if you're watching right now, please hit the like button. If you have not done so, also please hit the subscribe button. youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Over on CBS, on the other CBS, that was CBS is doing this weird thing now. I don't know if you guys noticed.
What's that?
The market manager, David Yageroff, and I were just talking about this the other day. So people have smart TVs. Mm-hmm. They have the CBS app, where you can actually click on it, and it's a completely different broadcast from what's happening on actual CBS.
Really?
So what we just played there with Catherine Herridge happened on the CBS app. Oh. So I'm not sure how many people actually saw it.
Okay. So this was different than what you would see on KYW3.
Yes, it's different than what you would see on the CBS broadcast.
And then they also have Paramount, which is their streaming platform, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
They also, so over on the CBS broadcast, Norah O'Donnell was doing the wall-to-wall coverage of the of Trump yesterday.
Oh, so the main feed gets Trump bashing.
There you go.
The little known alternate feed gets the truth.
There you go.
Although it was widely available on Twitter.
Yeah, see, Twitter, I guess, is good for that stuff. This is what. This is the unbiased stuff that you got from CBS News. Norah O'Donnell talking about Jack Smith and what a stud he is. I kid you not. This is cut 8, Daniel.
Also in the courtroom is the special counsel Jack Smith. And I want to spend a moment on Jack Smith because he is essentially who Donald Trump is up against in multiple of these indictments. The two, of course, the classified documents and the January 6th one. And they are sitting across from each other inside this courtroom. Jack Smith is someone who has run over and competed in over 100 triathlons. He was reportedly at one point hit when he was on his bike by a truck.
Yeah, well,
and 10 weeks later, he ran another triathlon. Yeah. This is a man of a lot of grit and a lot of determination.
Man.
And even what we have seen in these indictments is just a sliver of what they know and his prosecutorial team knows, right?
Oh, yes.
Wow. So his cardio conditioning is great, which really matters. And I guess if he's such in great shape, Nora, when he made that official indictment announcement, why was he so out of breath? Did he just get done riding his bike to Atlantic City? Like this guy? I don't think so. Jack Smith's a stud.
Have you guys seen the first picture that I saw of Jack Smith, where he has on, like, it almost looks like he's wearing a Star Trek outfit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Have you seen that?
I have,
He looks like the biggest dork.
Yeah, he's an odd
You
dude.
know it was taken at a Trekkie convention somewhere. It's he doesn't scream alpha male to me. Sorry, kids.
Trump's right. Maybe he is deranged prosecutor Jack Smith, because he does look a little
By the way,
deranged.
like that, the love fest.
I know.
In like Norah O'Donnell, like, sweetie.
I mean, if we're like in a court, I mean, the defense attorney is going to stand up and say relevance.
I'm going to cancel myself now. I can't.
I'll say it for you, sweetie.
Yeah. Just, come on. I mean, what is she doing?
Wow.
He over 100 triathlons. Look at his abs.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. This man can take on the world. Look at him.
I mean, that matters as much as Donald Trump playing golf as a president. It's like a side thing. It's okay, cool. You're into triathlons, and Trump likes to play golf. It has no meaning to the actual ability to do the job that you're paid to do.
So what's interesting is first of all, they would never talk about like Kamala Harris in this way.
No.
Right? Never. They would never do it to a woman. But they talk about, oh, he's so strong. He got hit by a car on his bicycle. I was like, well, okay, I don't think it's that hard to get hit by a car. A lot of people do it. But he was up and biking the next, 10 days later.
Yeah.
Then he didn't have severe injuries, and that's great. And I'm sorry he got hit by a car. So they talk about his strength, yet they never talk about Biden's weakness.
No.
If you talk about Biden's weakness, you're an ageist.
Right. Yep.
You're a horrible person. They come down hard on you, but yet they can tout someone's strength.
What's up with Democrats and having issues on bikes? Joe's
Yeah, that's a
falling
good
off
point.
of him. Jack Smith gets hit by a car.
Stay off bikes, people.
Stay the hell off your bike.
Did you guys see with Joe Biden, and this is old, so you probably saw it, Joe Biden, someone marked on Google Maps where he fell and called it Biden Falls.
Oh, yeah.
Biden Falls.
Yeah.
and Google took it down. It was hilarious.
Yeah. Mary made reference to this earlier, but let's play the audio. Michael Cohen was on CNN yesterday, and he's alluding to the fact that, so I think it's pretty well established. I mean, we don't have proof of this, so this is all just speculation. But it seems to be common knowledge that Mark Meadows flipped, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong by saying that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think he did.
Michael Cohen is alluding to here, and not alluding to, I think he's actually saying that he believes Jared Kushner, the son-in-law, flipped as well.
Oh, wow.
This is cut one, Daniel.
Especially Jack Smith is not allowing anybody to escape. So each and every one of them knows that this is me that they're talking about. And I think it's necessary for me to have my attorneys reach out to Jack Smith and his team to ensure that at least I have an opportunity to provide information, if they haven't already. Like, I'm a firm believer that Rudy Giuliani has already spoken.
What makes you think that?
Because I understand Rudy. Rudy has no interest in spending his remaining days on this planet behind bars for Donald Trump. In fact, I think the more important thing in this indictment to look at are not who the 6 co-conspirators are, but rather who is missing from this indictment. Like, for example, you don't see any mention of Mark Meadows. You see nothing of Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner is the secretary of everything. How is it possible that he is not listed here? He was there. He was on Donald's lap the entire time from the day Donald entered the White House to the day that he left.
So how do you explain it?
I believe he's probably a cooperating witness.
Jared Kushner, that's interesting because people have pointed out that Mark Meadows is conspicuously absent, from the indictment. But Jared Kushner is his son-in-law. You think that his son-in-law would cooperate against Donald Trump?
Oh, in a heartbeat. Do you think Jared is any different than Donald? Do you think that Donald wouldn't throw Jared under the bus in order to save himself? The answer is an emphatic yes.
And you think the same is true of Mark Meadows?
Absolutely. Look, that's the one thing that Bill Barr said that I totally agree with, that Donald doesn't care about anyone or anything other than himself. He's a one-way street. And if that means that Jared has to go down to Mark Meadows or Rudy Kaludi or Eastman or any of them, he doesn't care. That's just who he is.
So, two thoughts. One, on the CNN front. So CNN's trying to reestablish their credibility. and they say, hey, let's have Michael Cohen on. That's an interesting dynamic in itself. The Kushner thing is interesting. My guess is that it could be possible, but that is a really, I mean, I'm trying to think as a son-in-law to a father-in-law, would you rat him out and then have to deal with his daughter, your wife?
Well, let me just say this. Just because he's cooperating does not mean that he ratted. Like,
correct.
He may have spoken to them,
yeah,
but
and said
didn't,
nothing.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Greg makes an excellent point. Just because someone speaks, it doesn't mean that they're quote unquote selling someone out.
Yeah.
That just assumes that, like, oh, he's just assuming that, Donald Trump's horribly guilty of everything that you could possibly imagine. He is no better than Chris Christie. He's on a vengeance tour. This is his therapy after getting out of jail, right? This is his therapy, and we're all going to have to live through it. And Allison Camerata is so thirsty for any kind of attention that, oh, I got Michael Cohen. I got a great, great guest. My booker's awesome. Yeah. I'd fire the booker. Michael Cohen?
Any other person that has the baggage and the whatever of Michael Cohen, if this was anybody else who was speaking about anybody else but Donald Trump, they wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole,
right?
Because of his credibility.
Yes,
because he's a known liar.
Yes, I mean, this is like, if I was doing a show on why baseball is now allowing and advertising and marketing with sports betting companies, that would be like me having Pete Rose to come on to talk about the credibility. Like, no, I'm sorry, dude, you're damaged goods at this point.
Right,
It's actually a very good comparison.
My God.
Yeah, it was good.
Let's see here. What should we do next? I have so much stuff here.
Part 2 should be loaded today then as well.
Yeah, we have a lot. We have a lot going on.
Just do the cut sheet till 10 o'clock.
Mary flagged this one for us, which I always appreciate when everybody chips in and helps with the cut sheet. Al Sharpton said this mind bender about two former. Okay, let me just play it and you guys can comment on it. This is Al Sharpton not knowing his history.
One day, our children's children will read American history. And can you imagine our reading that James Madison or Thomas Jefferson tried to overthrow the government so they could stay in power? That's what we're looking at. We're looking at American history.
Oh, my goodness. All right, Mary, this was your gem you found. You have honors, ma'am.
Did anybody else hear the needle skip across the record there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
At the end of that? Like, wait, what? Wait. They did overthrow the government.
It's called the American Revolution.
Didn't Thomas Jefferson write that document?
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't know because I only saw that 16-second clip. So to be fair, did anybody call him out on that?
You know what? I couldn't find the rest of it. I looked at that. That's
scrubbed.
The only part that's flying around. And I saw that. And I was just like, okay, Al Sharpton, this is not the own you think it is, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much good Al Sharpton stuff out there. If you're ever bored, just because this pales in comparison to people have put up mashups of Al Sharpton versus the teleprompter.
It's true.
And they are just some of the funniest stuff. This has to go down in the annals of I don't know my history.
Yes. And Vivek Ramaswamy blasted him on Twitter yesterday. He said,
loved him.
It was called the American Revolution. We were successful. We won.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And they keep trotting these guys.
No.
It's unbelievable.
It's the same
to me.
playbook.
It's the same. I just and somebody watched that and was like, yeah, we're right on. Somebody's going to parrot that at some, party or something, and we just become dumber as society.
Dumb people influencing other openly dumb people you talk about a pandemic in this country. We have a pandemic of stupidity in this nation.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, there's no vaccine or shot for it yet.
Well, this weekend, watch the movie Idiocracy, and you'll understand it all.
That's right. You did tell me to watch that a couple days ago.
Did you?
No, not yet, but I will.
You haven't seen it yet?
No.
Oh.
I will. I'll have a lot of time.
It's probably one of the best movies ever made.
Oh, yes,
honestly.
You have to watch it.
Mike Judge, Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, really?
Office Space.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. But on the upside to this Al Sharpton clip, no matter what pretty much anyone listening says today, it's not going to be that dumb.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like free therapy. You know where the bar is in your day.
He won the Dumbest Comment of the Week award?
Oh, easily.
Okay.
Easily.
A month.
Going back to Jared Kushner flipping Cyber Egg on YouTube chat says, it is interesting. Jared and Ivanka said they don't want to be part of his re-election campaign.
Did they? I've heard that, but did they say that?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, they're not involved as far as we know.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, I mean, because there's very few people that have the stamina that, like, Trump just never seems to fatigue from this stuff. But I think both of them, they had their fill the first time around, and they don't want to go through it again. I think a lot of the family just does not want to be. I shouldn't say a lot of the family, but these two specifically are probably like, yeah, we're supporting you, we're rooting for you, but we don't want to be involved and drug through the mud.
Yeah, they haven't said anything, but everybody's saying that they seem to be distancing themselves, to your point, Greg, distancing themselves from Trump. And so this signals that they may be rethinking their exit from politics. Mm-hmm. So,
it's not for everybody.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're running a business, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sure they got plenty on their plate.
So I don't know if we discussed this here with Mary. These days all kind of run together.
I know.
Me. No offense. But what do we think about cameras being allowed in the courtroom for the Trump trial?
Yeah.
The trial. CNN's Ellie Honig demands that TV cameras be allowed at the Trump trials. This is cut 11.
Earlier in the day, we were talking about cameras in the courtroom. They're not cameras in federal courtrooms. A lot of people on the panel were saying there should be in this case. Who would make that decision? Is it just up to the judge?
So there's a couple layers here. The district judge, Judge Chutkan, can make an initial decision. Ultimately, this is the kind of thing that would probably have to go to the chief judge of the district. But I also want to know this. Chief Justice Roberts can order that or approve it from his high perch. So I'm putting the pressure on. Like, I don't use this platform to get on the soapbox, but this has to be covered in a modern, transparent fashion. It will be ludicrous. Trial of the century, that is not
You're not saying that just from a TV standpoint of view.
No, actually, I'm glad you. Q score will go way up. I am saying that, yes, from a TV standpoint, but the American people have to see this. The American people cannot be seeing. If we don't have cameras in the courtroom, here's what we're going to have. Yeah. We're going to have young reporters running in and out of that courtroom, texting us, trying to recount what happens. 2 or 3 hours after the end of every trial day, we'll get a 300-page transcript that some court reporter typed up, and we'll get sketch drawings. It's not 1918 here. It's 2023. We need to get with it.
Okay, that's fine. If you're going to try to play the card of transparency for the American people, if and when the day comes where Joe Biden has to be in court and Hunter Biden are in court, I want cameras in there for them as well, so the rest of the uninformed American public can see actually what's going on. But I am in agreement with him on that, and I've said this. From a selfish standpoint, as a talk show host looking for content, and somebody that's captivated by court drama, and certainly you throw in the name Trump, I too would like to see it, just from a selfish show standpoint.
I would. First of all, you keep dumping me out of the video here, so I am here though.
Oh no, she's not in the video. It's just
it keeps freezing up on you, yelling at me. It's like we are unable to connect you.
There we go. There you are. Yay.
Am I back again?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Well, I don't know how long it's going to last. See, it says again. Sorry, the host is disconnected, so I don't know what's happening.
Yep.
So,
You're
whoever the
stuck
host
with
is,
Greg and I.
stop disconnecting me.
Yes.
Okay, so be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. My mother always used to tell me that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And another CNN panel with 7 people on it because you need that. One of those people being Adam Kinzinger. Did you see him sitting over on the right? He's a little guy. He's the short little. He's sitting on a telephone book on the right. That's why I say be careful what you wish for. You just might get it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because I don't have a problem with the cameras being in there, but the problem is it's not going to be a universal. It'll be the standard for Trump, but it won't be the standard for Biden.
Yep.
And they'll be able to control the message coming out from Biden's courtroom.
That's correct.
Should it ever get to that point.
Yep.
So, but on the other hand, they can't control it if it is live from the courtroom.
Exactly.
And that can very well play in Trump's favor.
By the way, thank you for saying that, because I don't think this is going to work out the way they think it's going to work out. Because if they do this trial for him, it's going to be, however long the trial lasts, it's going to be one giant campaign ad for him. And,
that's true.
And that's not what they think the outcome is going to be. They think the outcome is going to be people are going to see this, come to their conclusions about, how awful he is, and then vote against him. I think exact opposite is going to happen.
Do you think it would have, we made the correlation and comparison earlier this morning of the way the media coverage of Trump getting out of the SUV and driving away is like the O.J. Simpson stuff. Do you think, because remember, America was captivated by the courtroom drama with the O.J. Simpson case. On the Trump case for January 6th and 2020 election, which I think from a click and sizzle and a salacious standpoint is far more fascinating than classified documents at Mar-a-Lago or hush money to Stormy Daniels. Do you think it would do well in the ratings? I mean, do you think America would flock to their TVs to watch Trump in court on a nightly basis?
100%. It'll be during the day, which is a hard thing.
I'm sorry.
But yes, 100%. And they're all going to flock to it because this is political porn to them.
Yes.
This is the fulfillment of a dream of the gods are finally smiling on them. This is their religion. Remember, government's their religion. And to them, Trump is Satan.
But I think both sides would be captivated to watch it, to the point you're making with the left, and they're getting their pound of flesh, but then also Trump supporters in their base. I mean, they'll be watching that, every single second.
Yeah,
yep.
Absolutely. I will literally get nothing done in this house ever.
It's the one thing that Americans can unite on, just like after 9/11. Hey, did you watch the Trump case? Yep, we all did.
Yes.
We had different reasons for it, but yes.
And people will walk away with total opposite opinions, even after having watched the exact same thing.
Yeah, well, you're just going to go into your own corner again.
Right.
But, by the way, broadcasting live on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Now we're at 141 likes. I want to get to 200, so please help us get there. 200 likes. Like the stream right now. So this is a montage put together by our friends at Grabian on Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and their business contacts. Look, it's just Joe being a great dad.
Yep.
Cut two here, Daniel.
He's the Jason Kelsey of dads.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Sorry.
All right, let's start over here. He's the Jason Kelsey. Best dad ever. Starting over here, Daniel.
Joe Biden did nothing, not even approximating improper, much less wrong or illegal.
It's wishful thinking. They're trying to create a scandal.
I think it's pretty clear, at least so far, there is nothing there.
House Republicans continue their search for any proof at all tying President Joe Biden to his son Hunter's business dealings.
Joe Biden had nothing to do with Hunter Biden's business dealings.
Because they want to dirty up Biden's name.
You know, Republicans have been trying to use Hunter Biden's behavior against the president. Did not know about anything that Hunter Biden was doing.
Gina Biden was simply involved in his son's life in a personal capacity. Republicans from consistently trying to make this argument and create the illusion of some malfeasance being there.
Spoke to business associates of Hunter Biden to say hello, to have small talk, casual conversation.
Hunter Biden talked to his dad on the phone all the time. They talked basically every day.
Every day.
Sometimes Joe Biden would say hello to the people in the room if he popped in or on the phone or whatever.
It's all casual conversation, niceties, the weather.
They never discussed business. These were more of just cordial hello types of conversations.
Cordial.
Business was never discussed on those calls.
Never.
And that was more casual sort of check-ins, casual conversations.
Yep.
President Biden might have said, hey, quit putting me on speakerphone. Are you having a business meeting? Like, what is that about? But do you hang up on your phone, on your side?
Beau Biden, Hunter's brother and President Biden's son, was very ill with cancer and then passed away. That, as the witness today testified, was what these conversations and these calls were about.
We should put this in context. This is a time when Beau Biden, the president's other son, was ill and then dying and then passed away.
Very fraught and sad time for the Biden family, and we know how important family is to the president.
They're doing Donald Trump's bidding, going after Hunter Biden, trying to create a tie to the president.
This is a political move here. It is a politics thing, right? In as much as it's anything else. Fair?
No.
Yeah, I think so. There does not appear to have been a direct business tie.
Because right now you don't see any conduct that's illegal, that there is regulation or law that's prohibiting it, even though it might be highly unethical.
I don't see high crimes and misdemeanors. I don't even see a low crime. I see a son who's using his father.
People with famous last names, using them for their own purposes. People in your families, they're ne'er-do-wells.
Yeah, Van.
This is as old as time.
Yep, Van Jones, folks.
Old as time.
Nothing to see here. Keep it moving.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, Bubba 45 brings up a great point. What grown man calls their daddy during business meetings?
I know. What? checking in with Pops.
Yeah.
And what grown man calls his daddy during business meetings, and they discuss Bo's recent death in front of all the business people that he's sitting with. That's really what I'm supposed to believe. We've moved on from weather.
Right.
Right? So the phone calls weren't about weather. The phone calls were about, the recently deceased Bo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if this was during the time of when Bo had recently passed, this is when we're supposed to believe, once again, keep this in mind, I say it all the time, that Hunter Biden was a drug-addled crackhead, right, who couldn't get out of bed on most days, would go on benders for days and days and days, but yet he was somehow being paid millions for his expertise in business.
$83,000 a month. Burner phones purchased at CVS and 7-Eleven.
I mean, well, where else are you going to get burner phones from, guys? I mean, come on. This is not... By the way, Nick, you're being called out on the YouTube chat.
Oh, what else
because you seem very sleepy today.
He's
okay?
rubbing his eyes like...
Yeah.
No, my
You're rubbing
eyes
your
are
eyes
itching.
like a toddler. I would tell you to get your blankie and go to bed if you were my kid.
No, I'm not tired at all. I'm just, my eyes are just like, I don't know if it's the lighting today, but my eyes are bothering me.
Itchy.
Yeah, something like that.
Itchy eyes.
The itchy eye drop.
Where's that? We gotta get the Ben Stein commercial. For clear, dry eyes, try clear eyes.
One of the other things in that cuts the mashup that you played, Greg.
Yeah.
One of the guys said he said something about what they were doing or not doing, and he said ... even though it might be highly unethical. I was like, wait, what?
Look, just ethics aside, it's fine.
Ethics aside, this is fantastic. And I just I had to stop and write it down because I don't know what he said before that, but I just wrote down ... even though it might be highly unethical.
Yep.
Exactly.
What a family.
It really is. It really is amazing that we're here. You do seem to be yawning a lot, though, Nick.
Yawning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel fine.
See, the problem is, guys, and I actually said this to somebody offline yesterday, that, it's not easy having a camera on you for 4 hours, especially starting at 6 a.m. I don't think everybody...
I think I'm a pretty perky individual.
I would agree with you. But I think that everybody who's criticizing right now, if they had a camera on them starting at 6 a.m. For people to see... they wouldn't be at their best as well.
Well, and I also think, I really always, for the most part, lose track of the camera being in here.
Yeah, I know.
I don't really play to the camera too often.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
It's good.
I don't really do my hair or anything,
I don't think it's criticism as it's more people noticing that you just seem really tired.
Yeah.
That's all.
And
it's Friday. I get it.
People just love to cling to my every word and my every move.
Sleepy Nick Kayal.
It's tough being heavy as the head that wears the crown, Nick. That's all I'm going to say.
Some people have that effect, What can I say?
Don't get too sleepy because there was a Zioli, had to move to afternoons because
Oh God! No, I'll tell you what. I will never. I have no desire to do afternoons. There's no way I'm ever going to sit around all day to wait to go to work. I did afternoons once and I hated it.
Yeah.
I think that's a sweet spot. That's
You
a
do?
sweet spot, except it's a 4-hour show by yourself, so that part of it's rough.
Yeah, I've done that as well too.
Yeah,
I got
that's
tired
hard.
Talking to myself for 4 straight hours.
Yeah. By the way, Mary will be in for Zioli the week of the August 21st. So
Okay.
Yes, except for Tuesday of that week.
Yes.
Because I screwed up the schedule, and that's my bad. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. We roll with the punches here. We played this earlier. Let's play it again.
Okay.
Trump yesterday when he showed up to court. He right before I guess he got on his plane, he spoke to the media, and this is what he said. Cut 9.
Well, thank you very much. This is a very sad day for America, and it was also very sad driving through Washington, D.C. and seeing the filth and the decay and all of the broken buildings and walls and the graffiti. This is not the place that I left. It's a very sad thing to see it. When you look at what's happening, this is a persecution of a political opponent. This was never supposed to happen in America. This is the persecution of the person that's leading by very, very substantial numbers in the Republican primary and leading Biden by a lot. So if you can't beat him, you persecute him or you prosecute him. We can't let this happen in America. Thank you very much.
Do you want these trials to happen before the 2024 election?
He makes a really good point, and I mentioned it around 6:30 when we talked about it this morning. If you can't beat him, persecute him and prosecute him. And he always does a good job of, he portrays it as the decline of America and the demise of Washington, D.C. as a city. That's a masterclass presentation right there that he put on. And it was very brief, and I thought we I don't know, because I'm not on Truth, so when I see his Truth posts, they usually come from somebody sharing them on Twitter. Was he firing away last night on Truth after he got home, or did he kind of lay low? I didn't really see
he just from what I saw, he just put out the exact same. You saw it on Twitter, the same day he put one out.
Okay.
Yeah, that was about it. But he, as far as what I saw, and I am on Truth. No, he didn't really go to town. And I wonder if he's maybe finally listening to his lawyers.
I don't know.
Shut up. Stop.
Yep.
Somebody take his phone.
Yeah, speaking of his lawyers, Alina Habba?
Yeah.
She made remarks yesterday outside of federal court in Washington, D.C. and said this is cut 10.
Let's go one more. Alina, there are a number of, there's testimony and there's a number of aides that have said that the president was made aware that he lost the election and yet continued to argue that it was stolen from him. How do you reconcile those two things?
Well, I think that everybody was made aware that he lost the election, but that doesn't mean that that was the only advice he was given. As anybody understands what happens in the Oval Office, there are a numerous amount of advisors and politicians and lawyers, not just one or two, that are giving you advice and telling you what they believe is true. So he may not agree with Mike Pence. He may not agree with one of his lawyers, but that doesn't mean that there weren't other people advising him exactly the opposite. And the president has a right, as every one of us do, to listen to several opinions and make their decision.
In that beginning answer there, did she say something she shouldn't have said?
Well, that's what they're saying.
So that's been the reaction to people to that comment? Because that's kind of my first thought that pops up. She sits there, and it sounds like she's saying that Trump was told he lost and he knew he lost?
Everybody was made aware that he lost the election, was her quote.
Okay.
Right, but that doesn't, to me, that's not a bad thing or saying something she shouldn't have said.
Okay.
He was told that because she goes on in that clip to say, but you get, when you're in the Oval Office, you get a lot of opinions. There's a lot of differing opinions. There's a lot of hashing out of things. And so, that's not the only opinion you get.
Okay. Gotcha. Very interesting. And she's the spokesperson, but she's
very
not
attractive,
actually,
by the way.
Well, yeah.
Did you see the?
Yeah. So for those of you that think I'm sleepy, I'm awake now.
That didn't take much.
That didn't take much.
Keep the bar low. That's good.
If you want to see the video, go over to YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. By the way, we're like 30 likes away from 200.
Yeah.
So please
what's it worth to you for me to like it? What do I get?
Oh man.
Be careful. If you go in there and start clicking buttons, Greg will get mad. I issued.
Well, she's already in the chat commenting.
Oh.
Every now and then, yeah. Okay. Somebody asked me what my awards were. I responded. Somebody said something very nice. I said thank you. I can multitask. I'm a chick.
A compliment? You got a compliment?
I'm a chick.
I did get a compliment. I know.
I didn't know people did that on YouTube chats.
Yeah. Every now and then, one sneaks through.
Okay.
It's funny. Eric Swalwell.
Oh, speaking of integrity,
he was on one of the cable shows, and he said it would be the end of our democracy if Donald Trump was able to get back into office. Cut 4 here.
Threat to security.
Congressman, what would a second Trump term in the White House mean for the rule of law in our country?
It would be the end of democracy. He tried once to overthrow an election that he lost. It would be, Wolf, the end of our democracy if Donald Trump was able to get back into office.
Wolf Blitzer live from the Situation Room with Swalwell. If you think that comment is great, I'm going to give you a piece of audio coming up in the 9 o'clock hour of another CNN hack who compared the joy he felt for the Trump indictment to the joy he had when they announced Osama bin Laden had been killed. So we'll get to that coming up in a little bit. But yeah, if you're ranking people on the left that are in politics that I have the least amount of respect for, it's pretty hard to top Swalwell. I mean, maybe Schiff. Trying to think of some others off the top of my head. AOC is an easy target. But yeah, Swalwell's right up there.
So two things. Number one, saying that it's the literal end of a democracy is so June of 2023.
I was just going to say that.
Hasn't that ran its course?
That talking point went out. He clearly went to his spam inbox and he got it. And so he said, oh, I have to say this. So that's the first thing. He's way behind. And secondly, he's the guy. Do you remember earlier in the week when we were talking about what men can say to women? And I kept saying it's all in the delivery.
Yes.
Eric Swalwell's the type of guy that no matter what he says, you feel you need to take a shower after talking to him.
Interesting one.
He's smarmy. He's gross. He's the guy who, never got, he was always picked last for dodgeball. He's that guy. And he's could be good looking, like he just falls shy of it, and he just doesn't clean it up to get it over the finish line. You know what I mean? There's just him and Adam Kinzinger cut from the same cloth.
Okay. Yeah.
They're not horrible looking guys. They could be better looking, but they think they're way better looking than they really are.
I love how women are allowed to just trash men like that on the radio.
I'm not trashing. I'm just stating fact.
Unbelievable.
It's not trashing. It's not misinformation.
I say one word about Laura Ingram's snarky face, and everybody comes out of the woodwork and gets mad at me.
It's true.
Unbelievable.
She does have a little bit of a snarky face, a little bit. I get it.
Tough to be a straight white man in 2023.
Well, so here's the thing. I don't criticize things that you can't change physically, right?
Okay.
Because that's not fair.
Yep.
God gave you what God gave you, and so you can't change that, right? Like, so Nick, you don't have hair. I would never change it. That's not your fault. I'm sure if you could change it, you would, but that's not your thing. But people can shower. People can cut their hair. People can clean it up a little bit. Yeah. And those two just don't. They always look rumpled and dirty. I don't know why.
And by the way, so with my hair, I am not opposed to a hair restoration endorsement.
You don't know.
They can't do the whole thing, honey.
Huh?
They can't do that. Yeah,
they could do patches. I know someone who's had it done, and it does look like dune grass for a while. It does. There's a very odd growing in period.
Yeah. I've said this before. And some people have the head for
a good bald head,
and you do.
Yeah.
Luckily I don't. Luckily I have hair because I don't. So I don't think you would look good with hair. I think I think it looks better.
Does the audience want to see what I used to look like with hair? Because I'll send Valdez a couple of pictures, and he can put them up in the YouTube.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Is that something we want to do?
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT.
You guys talk amongst yourselves, and I'll send some pictures to Valdez.
Okay.
Just gotta be careful. Just gotta be careful which pictures I send him. Oh boy. Scroll through these a little bit.
This could be a TMI situation. I don't know.
Do we have any idea what Chris Christie's lane is in the GOP primary?
I have no idea, but I would like him to stay in his lane. But it's
a dead end.
When you're built like him, he kind of goes over the median into other lanes.
Podcaster Kara Swisher claims that GOP presidential candidate Chris Christie has a shot at getting the nomination if Trump were to drop from the race. I mean, that's a big if. Right?
If Trump would drop?
Yeah, if Trump were to drop from the race. The discussion occurred on the Thursday edition of the On with Kara Swisher podcast. Apparently, Chris Christie was their guest, but before the interview, Swisher spoke with her producer, Naima Raza, before the outlook of the 2024 GOP field, and here is that discussion. Cut 6 here, Daniel.
You are surprisingly a Chris Christie campaign donor.
Yeah, I'm going to mention it to him at the top. Yeah, I gave him money because I want him to be on the stage. I want him to reach that number. And I really like debates. I watch them. And I think it's important that Trump has someone who actually can take him on a little better. And I think Chris Christie's really honed his skills. Yeah. I don't think he was particularly good in the debates against Trump. Nobody was. But he was great against Rubio last time. And really kind of killed off little Marco. I can't believe I'm calling him that, but it's a good word. It's a good nickname.
Well, it was Sloppy Chris Christie, I think. Was that the nickname?
Sloppy Chris Christie.
I don't remember. But despite the pile of cash that you've given him, which is a pile of $5 $1 bills, I think.
Exciting.
That pile of cash.
Yeah.
Christie is polling at the back of the pack. He is, got 2%.
Yes.
Can I just stop this for a second and just tell you how absolutely boring.
It's painful.
This is the epitome of NPR.
Yeah.
I was just going to say it sounds like NPR.
It is, and it's like the sweaty balls thing from from SNL.
But that was at least entertaining.
Yeah, this is just two. This is just two women, yentering it up, right?
That's correct.
No offense. It would be as boring if it was two guys yentering it up. But,
yes.
All right.
You continuing?
Yeah.
Are we
continue? Yeah.
Really?
Go to the tape.
Sorry.
They're all in the back of the pack. There's there's Trump, and then DeSantis is limping along behind him and going lower every day, and which is an opportunity for those people. And then there's everybody else.
Yeah. It's curious if there will be a way forward. Peggy Noonan had a quote in the Wall Street Journal, which was great, saying, "He is almost Trump's equal in showbiz and his superior in invective, so he can do some damage." And then goes on to ask, would it be a suicide mission? I don't know, but those kamikazes took out a lot of tankers.
Oh, okay. Peggy, geez, Peggy. I think that's probably right. We'll see. It just doesn't. The people who love Trump in this new Fox News poll. Fox listeners think that Trump didn't do anything. It's like it's 5% think he did. So, my mom included.
A lot of people are kind of not paying attention to the GOP primary. One thing is, Donald Trump might not show up.
He's not going to show up. Why should he?
Yeah, he benefits from just the talk about him.
This is the SNL skit. I'm sorry.
It is.
This is the SNL skit.
Oh my God. Well, let's just clear it up first.
A lot of
the
people
bottom
think
line.
that Trump's done nothing, including my mom. She doesn't think Trump's done anything. But these people love him no matter what. Yeah, I know. They really do.
God.
Oh my God. This is unbelievable.
The only way Trump drops from the race is if somehow he drops dead. That's it. So how long was that clip?
Too long.
The clip was like 90 seconds.
Oh my, it felt like 90 minutes.
It did. So I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I hope I don't get in trouble.
No, of course not.
So the woman who was on the screen, is that Kara Swisher? I don't know this woman from Adam.
Yes.
Is it me or is there just a universal look? And I'm not saying it in a bad way.
Yeah.
I'm just
No,
saying, but I think when you hang out with people of the same ideology, you start to look alike, right?
Yeah.
Like you adopt the same. Just like if you had someone with an American flag and a MAGA hat, you can tell there's a look. The look. I was like, oh, okay, I know what I'm in for. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, I know where this is going.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you put up the photo, she looks like Rachel Maddow. I mean, she looked exactly like her. Maybe a little.
The same haircut,
maybe
the glasses.
I can't. I shouldn't be commenting on somebody's looks because of. But she does. Look at that. Look at that photo right there. She looks exactly like Rachel Maddow.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But again, these are things that can be changed, which is why I feel it's okay, and I'm not criticizing. I'm more fascinated by these stereotypes exist for a reason thing. Because when you hang with a certain group of people, I think you adopt not only the ideology, if you all agree on that, but you adopt almost the same mannerisms and the same dress.
Agreed.
And the same look. I mean, the same haircut. Is this a coincidence?
No.
And speaking of haircuts, I have sent the picture to Valdez when I had hair.
Daniel, jump on the mic. How soon until we can get those pictures up, my friend?
Give me 30 seconds.
Oh, 30 seconds.
So there's been three phases. There's the bald phase. There's the picture you're about to see, which is when I got my hair cut low. We call it like a low fade or a bald fade.
Right.
And then there was when I actually had hair, and like in high school and college. I'm trying to find one of those. I had a great head of cabbage, nice head of lettuce for a long time, and then heredity, genetics kicked in.
What age did you start losing it?
I started going with the lower haircut when I was 24.
Wow.
And then when I was 30, I've been shaving my head since 2018. So 34, I started going with the bald look because it was no longer financially feasible or worth it to get a haircut every 10 days because after.
Wow. Oh, man.
Is it up?
Totally different.
Yeah, you look like a completely different person.
Charming guy right there, right? Stud.
Yeah, dude, I can totally tell why you shaved that thing.
Yeah, that was the right move.
You see how it was receding at the top?
Yeah. How old were you there?
That was 2016. That was 7 years ago.
For those people who are driving to work who cannot hear or cannot watch the video, can you tweet these out? Or are you not
who,
gonna
me?
tweet them? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So you actually want me to post something on Twitter?
Well, I'm just thinking about the people
Nick, send it to me. I'll do it.
I'm just thinking about the people who are driving to work who are like, This is radio, people.
Yeah. Let me. I'll just take a screenshot of. Let me see if I can slide over here.
Is there another one, or is it just that one that's up there?
I think that's just the only one I could find.
Yeah,
so far.
Shafe says something that I agree with. You look older with hair.
Older with hair.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm looking younger these days.
Yeah.
It's kind of a backhanded compliment. All right.
No, it's not a backhanded compliment at all. It's a compliment. You're very blessed that you have a head that can rock the bald head thing.
Sure.
You know, you don't have to do the awkward comb over,
right?
You know, or anything like that. And you're not that guy who's trying to hang on to last vestiges because it's kind of sad.
No, absolutely.
Elevator Dave, who is just, I think he's just trolling you.
He's actually in the elevator right now, actually.
He says, you look like a used car salesman.
Well, some say I am.
I agree with that.
Some
by
say
the
I
way.
am.
I agree with that, by the way.
So I've got this, and actually, you know what? Once I get washed out in radio, I'll go over to Piazza, and they'll put me on the payroll, and I'll sell cars.
Absolutely. You are a great spokesperson.
Let me show you this
for Piazza.
2017 Honda Accord. It's only got 32,000 miles.
You're a great spokesperson for Piazza.
Yeah.
That's a great. That's right. That's a great gig for you.
There you go.
So there you go.
All right.
Isn't there another one? I thought you said yeah.
Yeah, I've got others, but I mean those
oh wow.
Is there a
So
second?
wow, that one is a little. Wow, you.
Yeah,
you really,
I lost a lot of weight then. I was doing a lot of cardio.
You really did have a.
I wasn't out in the sun for a while. I was in the basement with Joe.
And how old were you there?
That was a year before the last shot. Go back to the last one. That was 2016. That would have been like 2015.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you look so much younger in this picture and then so much older in the next picture.
Yeah. There's
No,
very few
but
pictures
now
that
he
I
look.
like.
He looks younger now than he does in this picture here.
Mm-hmm.
You look younger now than you do in this the first picture that you put up. This
I've got to find the one with the full head of hair from like high school.
91 LSXer wants to know if that's your grinder profile.
Yeah. Goes with my burner phone.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find another one. I'll find one during the break. Definitely.
I'm shocked. Tweet them out for the people that are listening right now that can't join us on the YouTube. By the way, if you're watching right now, please hit the like button. Hit the like button on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Let's go to Kamala Harris, shall we?
Yes. And Sharon says, ignore them, Nick. You're always on fire. And yes, I am sucking up. Thank you, Sharon.
Kamala Harris met with the Mongolian Prime Minister.
Oh, boy.
I love this.
She said this to the Mongolian Prime Minister. This is cut 3, Daniel.
In particular, we will discuss the work that we will do together to strengthen our space cooperation. You and I spoke briefly about the beginning of the next era, and for you, what that means in terms of your leadership and your vision for the future. And certainly, strengthening our space cooperation would be a part of that agenda, including, of course, using our space cooperation to think about how we strengthen the economic prosperity and development of our nation.
Unburdened by
Got
what
it.
it's been.
What the hell did she say?
Do you think anybody ever gets done? Like, see, he's sitting there, he's nodding his head like he understands, he's enjoying it. But like, if you could hear his inner monologue right now, he's probably like, "What in the world is she rambling about? What am I doing here?"
Did she just say we're teaming up with that vaunted Mongol space program? Is that what we're doing? I didn't know that the Mongolians had a space do they have a space program?
Mongolians in space.
You think any of these individuals that have to be on the receiving end of the word salad, they walk away and they go back to their circle or whatever and be like, man, they were right. America has gone to crap. So this is what those Republicans are always talking about.
In particular, we will discuss the work that we will do together to strengthen our space cooperation. You and I spoke briefly about the beginning of the next era, and for you, what that means in terms of your leadership and your vision for the future, and certainly strengthening our space cooperation would be a part of that agenda, including, of course, using our space cooperation to think about how we strengthen the economic prosperity and development of our nations. That is a quote transcript.
Yes. Wow.
Oh, my God. How dare they? She said absolutely nothing there.
Yes. It's actually an art form.
It really is.
I've actually worked with people in radio that can just keep bloviating and they don't actually say anything. And you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We say this all the time, Mary. She's the student who gets up in front of the class, who has not read the book and tries to give a a report or whatever, an oral report on the book that she hasn't read. Read.
I've posted the screenshot of the shaved head versus the low fade. So all of you savages out there, feel free to check either my Twitter out or the station's out, and you'll see the side-by-side comparison.
Somebody said you age like a fine wine.
I'd go for a glass of wine right
You
now.
look better as you get older.
Yeah.
Which is good. Most people go the opposite direction.
All right.
One more, and then we'll call an end to this cut sheet that's been 2.5 hours long. She also said this to the Mongolian prime minister about how many times each her and Joe Biden have been to the Indo-Pacific.
Indo-Pacific.
Cut 5 here.
Which is why President Biden and I have each been, since we have been in office, to the Indo-Pacific 3 times each.
There we go.
They've been to the Pacific 3 times each?
Indo-Pacific 3 times each. How many times have they been to the border?
I was just going to say that.
Well, I've never been to Pluto either. Remember when she said that?
Yes.
Kamala actually had the nerve to snipe back at the reporter asking that question. Well, I haven't been to Neptune either. What? Jeez. And this is the lady that has now been dubbed the AI czar.
AI czar.
She hasn't mastered handling humans yet, but she's going to deal with artificial intelligence.
Absolutely.
I guess it's the national.
Her intelligence is somewhat artificial, so
exactly right.
It's kind of a good fit.
You think the robots are laughing like this is what you send to stop us?
Right. Exactly.
I like that they send her to meet with the Mongolian prime minister too. It's like, go visit him. It's fine. We'll take everything else. We'll take care of everything else.
Do you think she has a speechwriter, or does she just go rogue?
Well, no,
every
she
time?
has a staff. She just keeps firing them or they quit.
Yeah, that's true.
Her turnover's been remarkable.
It has, yeah.
Her turnover's been worse than a sports radio station I used to work at down the hallway with their lineup.
Oh, boy. Oh, man.
You
shots everywhere, aren't you?
But nothing personal. But can you imagine what it would be like to work in her office? Like, you can tell just from looking at her and just watching the way she speaks and everything else, that is a nightmare.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a tough deal. I mean, so speaking of nightmares, who do you think has the toughest job right now in the administration? It's got to be Karine Jean-Pierre, right? And she has to go up there. She has to go up there every day and try to spin it and look like an idiot.
My God, she has one of the easiest jobs ever. All she says is, it's like Jen Psaki, circle backy Saki. All she kept saying is, I'm going to circle back to you on that. I'll have to circle back to you on that.
I'm not going to get
I would refer you to the White House counsel.
Right. That's all she does. She just flips through the binder and finds the directory of where she has to send it to. She's like the operator. Hold on, let me connect you to the State Department. That's what she does.
Hold on, let me connect you with somebody that can assist you with your and troubleshoot your problem.
Or she flat out says, I'm not answering that question.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, that's your job. I'm just not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
okay.
Have we gone an hour and 20 minutes without taking a break? The program director is going to be pissed.
I mean,
I was going to say,
until
I
he sees
love
the quarter hour. Then he's going to be happy. Inside
I was going to say, I love your lack of a clock on this show.
Oh, yeah. It's just, we throw it right out the window.
All right. And we got to the cut sheet early. Or no, we got to the, because we didn't.
47 we did.
Yeah.
So we've been doing the cut sheet for
a
long time.
How many people can do what we just did for an hour and 20 minutes straight?
Not a lot.
And there are sports radio hosts that are just gasping right now, trying to get to the finish line, like Don Lemon at 8:58 on a CNN Wednesday night.
We can go an extra hour if you want to.
I'm good. You know what? Actually, you know what, audience? I am tired. How about that? I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to go get more coffee.
Yes.
And you can look at my head on pictures on Twitter.
Oh, boy.
How about that? All right, that'll do it for What's on the Cut Sheet Part 1. Stalker's got Part 2 just about an hour from now.
I don't know if I have anything left.
Well, yeah, Stalker might have spilled his bucket. That's all right. We'll find somebody that said something stupid. Coming up in just a little bit, a mother of 2 dies from drinking too much water.
Oh, boy.
And if it's not the water that'll kill you, apparently it's McDonald's.
Oh, boy.
Mark Zuckerberg will tell us why. But let me tell you about my friends at Piazza Auto Group. Recently leasing my 2023 Honda Ridgeline truck from Piazza Honda of Springfield. And I absolutely love this vehicle. It really drives like an SUV. It is super smooth. I get the truck elements without the truck gas prices. And again, I throw my golf clubs in the back. I'm not hauling and towing big items. So it's the perfect truck for me. If you're a truck person that doesn't need, the landscaper equipment or the grass cutting industry, and you just want a nice quality truck, now's the time to visit Piazza Honda in Springfield. You can also check them out in Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, or Reading to take advantage of 0.9% APR financing or get special finance rates on the Honda Civic, Honda Accord, CR-V Pilot, and more. The Piazza Auto Group, 17 brands, 35 locations, one site, piazzaautogroup.com.
Hire comedian Joe Conklin for corporate events, golf outings, and private parties.
Yo, this is Tom Sappwager from Shriners Tree Care out in King of Prussia. We had Joe Conklin, so we did not stop laughing for the whole show.
Hey, this is George Wolf. We've had Joe Conklin at our events for the last 3 years. He will keep coming back in droves.
Hi, this is Al Morgani from the Dave the Geese Foundation in Medford. We hired Joe Conklin. He arrived drunk, and things went downhill from there.
Hire Joe Conklin for your next event. Go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, this is Don Giordano introducing the Rescue Natural Supplements Customer Appreciation Sale. As a token of gratitude, on top of already discounted sale prices, Rescue customers can order any 5 products or more and save an extra 50% on their entire purchase with the code VIP50. Try the popular Rescue 1250 Omega-3 Fish Oil for heart health, Rescue Probiotic for better digestion, or Rescue Orosine for more energy. Mix and match any 5 or more single bottles and enjoy 50% off the entire purchase. To place an order, visit res-q.com or call 800-26-ALIVE. Again, that's 800-262-5483. Speak with a knowledgeable Rescue product consultant. And if you're new to Rescue, be sure to create your own account to earn more exclusive savings. Again, use the code VIP50 for an extra 50% off when you mix and match 5 or more Rescue natural supplements. Use that code VIP50 at res-q.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Donald Trump entered a not guilty plea to charges he tried to overturn the 2020 election. Governor Josh Shapiro signed the PA budget, ending a month-long standoff in Harrisburg. 2 people are dead, 2 are missing, and 2 children are injured after a house explosion in Atlantic City.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Kayal and Company, been a long time since I did an hour and 20 minutes of commercial-free radio, but that felt great. Hopefully all of you having a great start to your Friday. Nick Kayal, Mary Walter, in for Dawn Stensland. Greg Stocker, Daniel Valdez. Big final hour coming up, including last chance to scoop up a pair of tickets for the movie Sound of Freedom, our morning mystery movie clip at 9:20 this morning. And it is part of a long-running series of movies, and it came out 25 years ago. So we will get to that coming up at 9:20. Also, who on Twitter today and what's on the cut sheet part due on the way. Also, before we get out of here this morning, in the world of politics, we do have to get to a couple of things revolving around Ron DeSantis and also some more Trump stuff in the 9 o'clock hour that we did not get to in the first portion of the show. And also, we have an update on the man who said he wanted to become a dog. And he became a collie, and he now identifies as a collie.
An update on him?
We have an update on him. Some new developments in his transition, so to speak.
Is that video that we played? Is that like a permanent thing, or can he take that off? Did he like?
I would hope that he's just tucking it for now.
I'm just curious. I'm just saying.
This is really amazing is that we're analyzing a guy dressed up like a dog. Yesterday, we were trying to debate whether or not there was a human being inside of a bear costume. And then also, apparently yesterday, somebody tried to make the claim that they spotted Bigfoot in Florida.
Well, if Bigfoot was going to be anywhere, it certainly would be Florida.
But I always feel like it's always in the Pacific Northwest where these things occur. I don't recall many of them happening in Florida, but then again, I'm sure they'll blame Ron DeSantis for it and blame the curriculum in schools, and it'll be a whole brouhaha.
Well, I actually know people who hunt Bigfoot.
Do you really?
Yes, I do. And
so far, they've come up empty, huh?
Yeah, so far, but they have a lot of fun doing it. I don't know how serious they are about it.
Yeah.
But apparently, West Virginia is a Bigfoot hotspot.
Yeah, it's because Bigfoot's not real. That's why they can't get him.
91 LSXer says Bigfoot is Fetterman, usually strolling after dusk.
Fetterman. Can you imagine Fetterman dressed up as Herman Munster or Bigfoot?
Oh, man. Yeah.
All right.
I would just be happy if he got rid of the hoodie and tried to dress a little respectfully.
Yeah, I'd be actually happy
Make
if
me
he
happy.
just did his job. I mean, since we're paying his stinking salary. But anyway, how about this? So we've talked a lot about the buildup. There's a lot of battles going on here. We've got Trump against the DOJ. We've got Trump against Joe Biden. We've got DeSantis against Newsom. We can actually put together like a whole UFC pay-per-view card with all these battles because we also have Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. And I have said for a while now that while my heart would be on Elon Musk pummeling Zuckerberg, my head says that when these two eventually get into the octagon in UFC, that Zuckerberg will defeat Elon Musk because you think he's a nerd. He is a nerd, but he's shredded. He's a workout freak, and he's been training with some of these UFC MMA guys. And I don't think you want to test Mark Zuckerberg, although maybe you could catch him on a day where he's kind of having a cheat day at McDonald's, because this went viral. Apparently, this was the order that Mark Zuckerberg got at McDonald's as he shared his absurd calorie order. And this is really going to make you sick, folks. So, and it's always the little skinny guy. Like, I bet you Valdez could house a ton of McDonald's. It's like with the competitive food eatings, like Joey Chestnut. It's not the fat people that do it. It's the skinny people that do it.
Daniel, would you like to defend your McDonald's eating?
I don't even eat McDonald's, so I don't even want to try.
All right, well, let's pretend that you liked McDonald's or any other fast food, and you actually were able to afford to eat dinner. So could you top this? Zuckerberg, 20 chicken nuggets, so he gets the 20-piece.
Okay.
He gets a quarter pounder.
Okay.
A large fry.
Yep.
An Oreo McFlurry, and an apple pie.
Oh, my God.
And then because, believe it or not, they don't have enough calories already, he will also get some, or he has considered some bonus burgers for later. It's like me with the pizza. Like I eat 4 slices in the first sitting and then 2 about 2 hours later and then 2 again before bed. It's the Kayal Cheat Day Pizza Friday 4x2x2 plan. And today's Friday, by the way, so I'll be indulging.
He's such an odd person, Mary.
So
wait. Do you think this is news to me? I've caught on in the last couple of days.
Yes.
It's a little different.
As soon as you finally figure me out, then you're going to go to the afternoons and fill in for Rich and have to figure out that audience. See,
I like to call him quirky.
Yes. So 20 chicken nuggets, a quarter pounder, large fry, and then the double dessert, the McFlurry and the apple pie.
So he's trying to kill himself is one,
yes.
but he's also trying to put weight on for this
this
fight, or is it the jiu-jitsu?
He works out so much in his camp that he needs to consume so many calories, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of people forget this because we get grossed out by the calories, is calories are nothing more than units of energy. So you got to consume so many calories if you want to exert so much energy. That's the way this works. That's like the whole weight loss process, honestly. Like my old man used to say back in the day, Nick, I don't care what you eat, just burn it off. If you eat 2,000 calories, you're going to have to burn off more than 2,000 to lose a little bit of weight. It's not rocket science unless you have some medical condition. But this seems excessive here. I mean, I could do the quarter pounder and large fries, but there's no way I'm doing the 20 nuggets, and I'm certainly not doing 2 desserts. I'm not a huge dessert guy to begin with. But this seems, and I don't know, they did not give us a calorie count, but I'm sure you can look up online what the calories are in each of these items at McDonald's. I got to imagine that this is well over the 2,000 calorie a day suggested diet recommendation.
100%. I've got the calorie counter up.
You do?
So what do you get?
So you go...
Quarter pounder?
Yeah, what's a quarter pounder?
Quarter pounder with cheese, 520 calories.
Wow. Okay. And 20 nuggets, the 20 piece.
Hold on. They don't make it easy to do it.
Okay.
Nuggets. 10-piece nugget is 410.
So
that's
that.
820. So 830 calories for the 20.
And then 5 something. So we're looking at 13.
5 something. Yeah.
Okay. So 13 and change. Large fry.
Large fry. Nothing. This is it's not very easy to do this. Hold on. A lot of clicking. Fries and sides. Okay. World famous fries.
Mm-hmm.
Large.
Yep.
480 calories.
That's 1,700 calories. And so he's going to go well over 2,000 here. You still have the Oreo McFlurry and the apple pie.
Wow. Okay. Which their apple pie, since they stopped frying them, I haven't actually. Where's breakfast?
I'm going to guess we're probably 2,500 for this order.
Happy Meals, sweets and treats.
Yep.
The McFlurry Oreo, you said?
Yep.
That is 510 calories.
Right, that gets us to about 2,300.
And then what was the other thing? Was the baked apple pie.
Yep.
Is 230 calories.
I say we're right around 2,500 calories.
For one meal.
For one meal. So, that, I mean, if you forget your breakfast, forget your lunch, forget your snack, forget your coffee, forget your protein bar or whatever you might have, like midway between meals. And I'm just imagining Zuckerberg is probably housing a bunch of eggs in the morning too. So I don't know if he's eating egg whites or he's going with the yolk as well. I mean, he's probably consuming 4,000 calories a day, which is
I don't eat that much.
remarkable.
I don't think I eat that much in 4 days.
You're a light eater?
I mean,
Yeah.
look at her. Look at the size of her. She obviously doesn't eat a lot. Or if you
No,
do,
I don't.
you work out.
When it's not super hot, because again, 3rd floor and no air conditioning.
Right.
So
And you don't want to sweat when you're in the shed too often.
in the former servants' quarters.
She's in the servants'
She's
quarters.
in the servants' quarters.
By the way, speaking of YouTube, if you're
Yeah.
watching right now, please hit the like button. But QJ says, I think this is the best Kayal and Company show that I've heard, and we've still got an hour left.
Wow. All right.
Wow.
Okay, look at that, QJ.
And I'm tired today too.
Hold on. QJ is just shilling for best post of the day or best whatever on Twitter or
Right.
YouTube or whatever. That's what QJ is looking for
you,
right there.
You don't get that for complimenting the show. You get that for making fun of one of
Right.
us. So
Right.
Oh,
Because if
he's
it's
gonna
not
take
rough,
it
it's
back.
not right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
If it's a compliment, then we don't want to hear that. We want to hear
That's right.
hate.
Exactly.
All right, so QJ, you need to switch that up and repost if that's what you were shooting for right there.
And then the last story on the dieting front. So if McDonald's won't kill you, drinking too much water will. And I was actually told this years ago from one of my doctors who knew I was drinking 100 ounces of alkaline water a day. They said that be careful because there is such a thing as too much water.
Yeah.
And once I came to the conclusion that even drinking too much water is bad for you, I no longer cared about what I consumed. I'm going to drink alcohol. I'm going to eat my cheat pizza day Friday. If drinking too much water can be bad for you, there's nothing in this world that I'm afraid of. So this story, but this is really sad. So a mom of 2 dies from drinking too much water after feeling dehydrated on a family trip. An Indiana mother of 2 who told her family it felt like she couldn't drink enough water to feel satiated, collapsed and died from water toxicity, a rare consequence of drinking too much water too quickly. Ashley Summers, 35, was out at Lake Freeman with her husband and 2 young daughters over the 4th of July weekend when she began feeling severely dehydrated. Someone said she drank 4 bottles of water in 20 minutes. Her brother, Devin Miller, told WRTV. He goes on to say, I mean, an average water bottle is like 16 ounces. So that was 64 ounces that she drank in a span of 20 minutes. That's half a gallon. That's what you're supposed to drink in a whole day. So she binged on water, feeling dehydrated while doing a family activity outdoors, and the poor lady dies from water toxicity.
Crazy.
I've never heard of that.
Well, actually, it sounded familiar to me, so I went back and I looked, and I knew it was a young boy earlier in July, like the second week in July. It happened with a South Carolina boy. It was 10 years old. So that's why this story sounded super familiar to me. He didn't die, but he wound up being hospitalized. He drank 6 bottles of water in an hour. Because remember, it was really super hot then.
Yep.
That was when we were in the middle of that heat wave, and he was outside doing what they do, jumping on the trampoline. He was with his cousins, running around, going full throttle. And his parents didn't realize how much water he had consumed.
Wow.
So they said all of a sudden he between 8:30 and in an hour he drank 6 bottles of water, and they said by 10:30, an hour later, he couldn't control his head, his arms, or anything, and it almost seemed like he was on drugs or drunk.
Jesus.
And they took him to the hospital, and he wound up hospitalized, and they recognized what it was. You wind up with dangerously low sodium levels.
Oh, is that what it is?
And your kidneys become overwhelmed by all that water coming in.
Oh, wow. So there is still some benefit of having some sodium in your diet then, I guess, correct?
Yeah, well, that's why when you're really sick, you drink one of those, power drinks, right?
Yep.
Like a Gatorade or a Powerade, because it has a high level of sodium in them.
Yep. Wow. Well, sad story for sure.
Watch out if you're drinking too much water.
Yeah. You have to start scaling back to 2 bottles a day.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. 855-839-1210 is the phone number. Coming up, final hour is on the way. Woo-hoo. Ron DeSantis is being criticized by the NBA and also DEI no more at Disney. We'll get to those stories as we continue. Kayal and Company, stay right there.
You're out of breath. Have a constant dry cough that won't go away. It could be interstitial lung disease. ILD is rare, but it's serious. It can be the fight of your life. And you can't face the fight of your life if you don't know you're in it. Ask your doctor. Find a pulmonologist. Get answers. There's hope. There's help, but don't wait. Go to lungsandU.com/fight-ILD.
You're invited to a private showing of the most important movie you'll see in retirement. The Baby Boomer Dilemma is a groundbreaking documentary from award-winning director Doug Orchard. Throughout the film, Nobel Prize winners, PhDs, and esteemed economists expose the cracks in the financial industry that have 401ks, IRAs, Social Security, and other retirement plans on the brink of collapse. After the movie, you'll receive an education that's unlike any other. Learn how to apply the solutions presented by these experts, which align with and validate our proprietary crash-proof retirement system, proven by over 5,000 consumers. Join us at the Falls at the Doubletree in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, August 16th, and let Crash Proof Retirement provide you the crucial information you need to avoid the baby boomer dilemma that's on the horizon. Registration is required. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. My father and grandfather taught me 3 things. Be honest, provide great service, and give back to the community. And you will continue to be in business for 3 more generations. You have a choice as to who services your heating and air conditioning. At Marvin E. Cans, you'll get great service and honest pricing, but also a company that gives back, like installing a free trained furnace for a disabled Afghan war veteran. If this sounds like your type of HVAC company, then visit us at marvinecans.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Improve your gas mileage by properly inflating tires and taking your car in for a tune-up. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Don't miss Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor, Saturday afternoons at 5. Tune in for accurate information so you can make the right medical decisions. Your radio doctor, Dr. Marianne Ritchie, Saturday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Wells Fargo lets you know where you stand with your FICO credit score. What if you knew where you stood with everything? Like your kids' friends.
Hey, boys. How do cows stay informed?
Dad, don't.
They read the Moo paper.
Mr. Otis, you're the funniest.
It's good to know where you stand. And when it comes to your FICO credit score, you can with a Wells Fargo account.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getfico to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. FICO is a registered trademark of Fair Isaac Corporation in the United States and other countries. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Your new kitchen appliances look stunning.
Thanks. We had a blast shopping for them at National Appliance Warehouse. There's over 100 brands in their huge showroom. The best part was knowing everything was at the best price.
You must have done a ton of research.
Oh, we didn't need to. They use a cutting-edge technology called Price Assure. It searches prices online and updates electronic Price Assure tags in real time to make sure theirs is the lowest.
Lower than the big box stores.
Especially them, with much better service, too. And they do it all. Delivery, installation, everything.
National Appliance Warehouse in Wilmington.
Yes. They may not be the closest, but they'll make your wallet the happiest.
The Friends and Family Savings Event is underway at National Appliance Warehouse. Save on LG. Get a deluxe stainless steel kitchen suite with French door refrigerator from LG regularly $43.43 for only $21.99.88 after rebate. That's a budget saving $2,143.12. An incredible package. Preview the savings at nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their easily accessible showroom on 202 in tax-free Wilmington.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hire with minimal effort and max speed with Indeed. Their hiring solution platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates efficiently. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Hey, Quakertown, tell your smart speaker play 1210 WPHT.
It was an early morning yesterday. I was up before the dawn. And I really have enjoyed my stay, but I must be moving on.
9:04 Friday morning. Welcome back in. It's Kayal and Company rolling on here on this Friday morning. Nick Kayal, Mary Walter, Greg Stocker, Daniel Valdez, as we head till 10 o'clock this morning, just about 15 minutes out from our morning mystery movie clip. Last chance to scoop up a pair of tickets to Sound of Freedom. Should be a very good movie. I gotta really take that one in. Last weekend, I did the Oppenheimer, which, by the way, Mary, I discussed it a little bit on Monday. Were you able to see that yet, or is that something on your list?
No, I have not seen either one of those movies. I want to see them,
Okay.
but we had the cutest little theater. It was run by a family. You know, the kids worked up, for the popcorn and everything. And it was real old timey, and it was great because there weren't mobs of kids running around it. And it just got just destroyed their business during COVID. The 14 days that we flattened the curve.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately that shut down. So now if I want to go, I have to go to like the big mall theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I can't because I'm going to wind up beating somebody. So it's probably not good. I'm probably going to have to wait till these come out.
Yeah,
and I can watch them in the privacy of my own home without people bothering me.
There you go. I mean, because going there is not tough enough for $16.50 for the ticket and
Right.
$9.50 for the soda and $8.50 for the popcorn. And then you got to deal with all the punks and it's just a pain. The old school movie experience is hard to beat, right? And I'm not even talking drive-through or drive-in, but just remember when you go in and it was you didn't have the stadium seating and everything was affordable and there was like an usher or two. Like I enjoyed that.
Well, Kevin Smith bought the movie theater.
Oh, okay.
And he was showing so far. All I know that he has shown so far was he did a marathon of all of his movies that he showed.
Okay.
So, but I don't know if he's going to, show anything.
Other than his movies.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what else he's showing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Kevin Smith. I mean, look, some of his movies are great. Some of his movies are not. But I had heard that he does a lot of independent stuff in that theater too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has like it's apparently Smod Castle Cinemas.
Yes.
And he's had Sunday morning mass and hummus breakfast.
What's that that's in Red Bank, right?
No, his this is in Atlantic Highlands.
Okay.
His comic book shop is in Red Bank.
Gotcha.
No. Did I hear hummus?
Yes.
Oh man, I love some hummus.
I don't know why hummus breakfast with Sunday morning mass one day there.
Okay. Interesting.
And then he's doing like a bunch of he showed the films of John Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
He did movies made in Jersey.
Okay.
That type of thing.
All right. This segment brought to you by the Piazza Auto Group. Get complimentary 2-year maintenance with the purchase of any new 2023 Acura, like the Integra, TLX, or MDX. Visit Piazza Acura in Ardmore, Reading, and Westchester, or shop online at piazzaacura.com. All right, so Ron DeSantis in the news again for a variety of reasons. Couple of stories here on our favorite boy,
DeSantis.
So the NBPA is calling the Orlando Magic's donation to DeSantis alarming. So the National Basketball Players Association released a statement on Thursday calling the Orlando Magic's donation to a Florida governor alarming. On Tuesday, it was discovered through the Federal Election Commissioner filings that the team, and Orlando Magic is a team in the NBA for those that are not aware, they donated $50,000 to Never Back Down, Inc., which is DeSantis's political action committee. So after they drop $50,000 to that PAC, everybody loses their mind within the Players Association because, as you know, the NBA as a league, as an entity, is super woke and super left, and it's okay for them to give you political messaging and social messaging about social justice and all that nonsense every single day and have stuff all over the floor with logos and on their jerseys. But if the Orlando Magic says, you know what, we're going to donate $50,000 to Mr. DeSantis, that is a big issue. While it isn't uncommon for owners to make political donations, the fact that the donation was in the team's name raised eyebrows. I actually commend them for doing that. Not just for donating to somebody they want to donate to, but for not trying to shield the identity of who is actually making the contribution. I mean, this is the absurd world that we live in, Mary, where when you are a sports entity or an athlete or anybody in the spotlight, it's okay for you to promote, advertise, and share your allegiance to one side. But if you do it to the other side, you're persona non grata.
Right, but this is what they do well, and Republicans would be wise to pay attention to this. They actually will dox, who's doing what to find out who they are and try to shame them into backing down. This is what they do. Now, there is, I don't know if you saw this, Jonathan Isaacs plays for the NBA.
That's correct.
So did you see what he's done? There are people like him coming out.
He's got a brand.
Right, speaking out. Right, he's got this anti-woke, pro-Christian alternative to what he's billing as an alternative to Nike.
Yep.
And you need more people like that. He said, I stood for the national anthem. I didn't want to align myself with Black Lives Matter. And I feel that the true answer to all the problems that we see, not just racism, is the gospel of Jesus Christ. So I decided to stand up and share it.
Yeah. We talked about that Jonathan Isaacs story, and think about that. He's sitting there having to defend the fact that he stood for the anthem.
Yep.
I mean, that's the bizarro, upside-down world we're living in, where you have to explain yourself, not for taking a knee, not for sitting, but for standing, which is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's a wild concept. Quote, a political contribution from the Orlando Magic is alarming, given recent comments and policies of its beneficiary, the NBPA said. Quote, NBA governors, players, and personnel have the right to express their personal political views, including through donations and statements. However, if contributions are made on behalf of an entire team using money earned through the labor of its employees, it is incumbent upon the team governors to consider the diverse values and perspectives of staff and players. So here we go again, diverse values and perspective. So you have to be cognizant of the feelings of the left, but diversity and feelings on the right are irrelevant when it comes to if this would have been the Orlando Magic donating to Joe Biden, or let's say somebody that's a Democrat. The Magic's donation, quote, does not represent player support for the recipient. The owners of the team, the Davos family, declined to comment on the donation. The team, on the other hand, made a statement on Wednesday, quote, to clarify, this gift was given before Governor DeSantis entered the political race. Well, that shouldn't change anything. He's still a Republican, whether he's running as governor or president or whatever office he's in or trying to get to. The team would go on to say, quote, it was given as a Florida business in support of a Florida governor for the continued prosperity of Central Florida. Again, for my money, Mary, you don't need to clarify.
No. And this is where you don't apologize. This is something Trump does. Trump never apologizes. DeSantis doesn't apologize. Once you apologize, they've got you on your knees.
That's correct.
You're done. Never apologize because you're going to explain it because then they're going to complain about the explanation, right?
Yep.
The explanation isn't good enough.
Nope.
That apology wasn't good enough.
Right.
And the next thing you know, you're flogging yourself, and you've been driven off with, shaved your head, and driven off in a sackcloth and ashes while someone rings, a bell in front of you, screaming unclean. So never apologize. And so I think they should let this go. This is the end of it. This is what we wanted to do. If you don't like it, oh well.
And
the world is still spinning. You'll get over it.
And if your pack is called Never Back Down Inc., the last thing you're going to do is apologize, right?
Right.
Because then you're going to have to change that branding. So there's that. And then also on the DeSantis front, yesterday, DeSantis-controlled Disney World district will get rid of all of its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and staffers. This coming down actually on Tuesday, where DEI programs were abolished from Walt Disney World's governing district, now controlled by appointees of Governor Ron DeSantis, in an echo of the Florida governor's agenda, which has championed curtailing such programs in higher education and elsewhere. The Central Florida Tourism Oversight District said in a statement that its Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee would be eliminated, as would any jobs connected to it. Also axed were initiatives left over from the district that was controlled by Disney supporters, which awarded contracts based on goals of achieving racial or gender parity. This is a return to merit in my eyes. Glenton Gilzine, the district's new administrator, who is African American and a former head of the Central Florida Urban League, called such initiatives illegal and simply un-American. Gilzine has been a fellow or member at two conservative institutions, the James Madison Institute and the American Enterprise Institute Leadership Network, as well as DeSantis appointee to the Florida Commission on Ethics. Glenton goes on to say, quote, our district will no longer participate in any attempt to divide us by race or advance the notion that we are not created equal. Gilzian said in a statement, as the former head of the Central Florida Urban League, a civil rights organization, I can say definitively that our community thrives only when we work together despite our differences. See, what the left loves to do with this in defense of their DEI, if you push back on it and say, no, we're not going to have DEI programs, they want to label you racist. But really what it is here, again, all DEI does is separate us based upon race, which feels like the complete opposite of what people wanted for 60, 70 years ago, right?
Well, they believe that the solution to racism is racism.
Yeah, and segregation and separating everybody into a little box.
Exactly. So I wonder, and let me ask you, do you think that you're going to see more companies slowly, quietly downsizing their DEI departments in light of the Bud Light fiasco?
No, but
really?
And the reason I say no is they value those ESG scores and those CEI reports. It's all about your social credit score. And we've heard about the guy from BlackRock, Larry Fink, and how this all started. What was it, 6-7 years ago? I think there are some that will. See, here's the thing: if you never get involved in it to begin with, you don't have anything to worry about. Just stick to selling your product. Keep it simple, stupid, and if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. But I think Bud Light is the rare exception. Target got a little bit of pushback, not to the Bud level, but I think some of these corporate CEOs that are probably very progressive to begin with, they value having that credit score. And I don't think it's a deterrent. I think they'll probably sit there and say that's the outlier. That's not the rule.
I with this, we talked about that the app yesterday, that Veeb app.
Yep.
So conservatives are starting to get in on the act of this social credit score thing, and Veeb is brilliant in the sense that it is not just conservatives. Anybody can take the little form, fill out the little form about your values, answer the questions, and scan the product code and see where your company falls.
Is
right?
Is it hard to live that kind of life where you're always trying to find which companies are not like I will only buy something that's not woke? Like, I mean, it's got to be an exhausting exercise, no?
Well, I think it is, but I also think it just becomes part of your life. And I think conservatives are waking up to the power that they have. They don't have the media, but they have the power of the purse.
Oh, yes.
So I think conservatives are waking up to that power. Bed Bath & Beyond took a hit, right?
Yep.
They deplatformed MyPillow, right?
Yeah.
They got political, and they started being political. And I will tell you, I stopped going to Bed Bath & Beyond because of it. I don't want to know what your political stance is. Stop it.
Right.
And if you insist on telling me, then you can't be surprised if I then make a decision based on that.
That's absolutely correct.
But I always knew the Target protest was never going to work because moms can't stay out of Target.
Yeah. I mean, Target is a pretty good store. I'm not going to lie.
It is. It is a good store. But moms can't stay out of it. Sears was always the answer to Target. I think Sears was one of those companies that, they committed suicide. It was their own fault.
Yeah.
But if Sears was still around, Target I don't think would be as popular as it is now.
That's interesting. Also too, when you think about these companies, especially for the individual that only wants to buy something that's made in America. I mean, if you could just go around, whether it's clothing or apparel, and you look at the tags, I mean, it is very, very difficult to only purchase things that are made in America, just because of obviously the dynamics of the workforce and cheap labor and the whole bit. But I mean, I applaud people for trying to do that, but it's a taxing effort, I would say.
Right. And you have Mammoth Nation, I think it is, that has only made in America, and they have a lot of vet stuff, stuff that's, specialty by vet-owned companies and those types of things, which is great. But unfortunately, given today's, with inflation, a lot of that stuff's more expensive.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Lastly, on the DeSantis front, just one little piece to this story with DEI being no more at Disney. DeSantis, who has also championed Florida's so-called Stop Woke law, which bars businesses, colleges, and K-12 schools from giving training on certain racial concepts, such as the theory that people of a particular race are inherently racist, privileged, or oppressed. A federal judge last November blocked the law's enforcement in colleges, universities, and businesses, calling it positively dystopian. Will be interesting to see how this continues to play out. But I would say this, just to wrap it up on DeSantis with Disney, he's fought that battle. But I think as you get closer now to these primaries and these debates and everything, you need to lead that to me. And I know Disney is absolutely a global brand, no doubt about it. And people flock there in this country and other countries. They come here to go to Florida or California. The battle that you are fighting is a battle legally within just the state of Florida. This is where I think he needs to keep that in his governorship duties, because I think as Americans, with him running for president, this is probably, I think, one of the smallest issues that we are concerned with. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do think there are some parents who are not spending money at Disney. I noticed there are the people who are in the cult. Even as adults, they've got Disney everything in their house. And then I know there are parents who are branching out and going to more like Brave Books, I think it is, that have other stories that aren't necessarily, it's not all Disney all the time.
Right.
So I think there are some parents who are trying to pull away from that. And this is a recent phenomenon. My parents never took us to Disney. There was none of that going on in our house. My parents are like, go as an adult when you're paying for it.
It's funny you say that, Mary, because my wife and I are having that discussion right now because my son's 3, and we're like, at what age? Because I went when I was 3. I have no recollection of it.
No, 3 is too young.
Yeah, so is it 5? Is it 6? Is it 7? What's the age to send or to take your son or daughter to Disney?
I think 7 or 8 is a good age.
And when we were debating it, I said to my wife, I'm like, why is this like a rite of passage that he has to go to Disney?
Right.
granted, he loves Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and all that stuff. So, like, he is a fan of that stuff. So if he remains that in 2 or 3 years, then sure.
I never went as a kid.
But like this rite of passage that you must send your kids to Disney. Like, where did that come from?
I have no idea.
Disney, that's where it came from.
Well,
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And all the other kids get to go to Disney. I want to go to Disney. But, when you can go when you can afford to take the loan out.
Yeah.
In order to get there, because it's so expensive. And there are so many other places you can take your kid to, right?
Yep.
There's Sesame Plays. There's all these small little places. I know that in Jersey there was Storybook Land that we went to, Turtleback Zoo. There were so many other places you can take your kid to for the day. You don't have to take out a mortgage in order to go and buy $42 Mickey ears for your kid and all this other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I think there are other places you can go and your kid will remember those experiences. That doesn't have to be Disney.
My daughters have gone twice, and they're not even 9 years old. I didn't go as a kid, but I'm at the point now. And I got to tell you, like, I love going to Florida, but going to Orlando, it is hot, it is humid, and there's no relief unless you do the water rides.
These people who do this in August,
crazy.
What is wrong with you?
And it's
cheaper.
Right,
that's what's wrong with them. They're poor.
You're right in the middle of the state. There's no ocean breeze. It's just brutal. It's just absolutely brutal. Valdez says he's never gone to Disney ever in his life. So
and you said as well too, right, Nick?
As a kid, I never went.
Okay,
I've gone twice as an adult, as a parent, but Valdez at this point has yet to go there at all.
So we went once as adults, and we were with my sister-in-law and her husband, and we got we were staying in Disney at one of the hotels, and we had, I guess, like a 5-day pass or something. And after 4 days, we had enough of the happiest place on earth, and so we flew to Key West.
Oh, nice.
We just left early.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, we're done with the happiest place on earth, and
yeah,
we
we've
left.
seen it. Yep. We did the Epcot thing and moved on. I got you.
Yeah. And my brother-in-law insisted on boycotting the French exhibit, so we weren't allowed to go to the French exhibit.
Well, Zioli went to Disneyland out in California at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
And he said that he was surprised that it was not nearly as woke as he was thinking it would be.
And it's also not as big, too, as the one in Orlando.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Okay.
No.
Interesting. I've never gone to
That's
the
where
one
they
in
have
California.
the one in Orlando has like the Star Wars and the Harry Potter stuff. The one in California has the Marvel stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
And Knott's Berry Farms.
Yeah.
I'd rather do the Marvel stuff. 9:23 Friday morning. How about some tickets for Sound of Freedom with our morning mystery movie clip?
And now, the morning mystery movie clip on Kayal and Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Don't talk to me about responsible, Mom.
I just need this one thing.
Mom, I am not responsible for you. That's it. That's enough. I can't take it, Mom. He's dead. Michael Myers is dead.
Oh, come on.
Jeez.
Well, you have to guess which one this is.
It's over?
That's true.
We should try to get on with some attempt at a happy existence, Mom. Because all the that's going on in your head is leaking out on me, and I can't take it anymore.
Think you know what it is?
Yeah, you have to get the right
Call it 12 at 855-839-1210, and you could win this great prize.
The great prize is a pair of tickets. The last one for the week for the movie Sound of Freedom. If you can identify which Mike Myers flick that was, there's only like 37 of them, so good luck. 855-839-1210. Caller 12 with the correct answer. And that one came out on this date, I believe 25 years ago, which is interesting. You've got a movie that's synonymous with like October 30th that's coming out in early August. I wouldn't have done it that way, but I'm not the director. 855-839-1210. We'll see if you can identify that movie clip. And if you don't know, maybe you can just pull up the DuckDuckGo app to find your answer.
I was just going to say, you basically just told them the answer, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but you gotta give us the name of the movie and the number.
You said it came out 25 years ago today, so you know.
Right.
All right, me and my big mouth. Oh, well, you're going to
get
tickets.
DuckDuckGo it.
Yeah, you're going to go DuckDuckGo it.
Yeah.
And DuckDuckGo is a browser a lot like Chrome, but it's going to block the private searchers, everything that's trying to track you and keep up with what you're doing. And it's very simple. There's two options. You can download the app, DuckDuckGo, or go to their website, duckduckgo.com. And they've made it super simple for you. If you're an Android user, iOS, Windows, Mac, it doesn't matter, smartphone, smart tablet, laptop, desktop, because the reality is we don't like when people tread on us. We don't want the government tracking us in our purchases, and we certainly don't want companies doing that. The one thing I love about the DuckDuckGo app is when I downloaded it and used it for the first couple of times, I saw all these little things like just flying up the screen. Those are all the different spyware, adware, malware, and searches that are getting blocked by DuckDuckGo. For example, let's say you went to like a bourbon website and you were going to purchase a bottle of bourbon and you're searching, and then you left and you went to 1210wpht.com. All of a sudden you're getting inundated with bourbon ads. That's because they're tracking you. Well, with DuckDuckGo, you're not going to get that anymore. A 4.7 average rating on Apple and Google Play. Nearly 3.5 million reviews, and it's the #2 mobile search engine in the United States, Canada, UK, Australia, and more. It's #2 in Canada. So like Trudeau's looking for a divorce lawyer right now. DuckDuckGo. Download the app, Trudeau. DuckDuckGo.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Summer's the perfect time for your child or grandchild to get ahead if your child needs support, special tutoring, and custom instruction. METC is here to help. Now's the time to make the call to METC, called a Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Gannon, has helped people of all ages to grow personally and academically. Call Kathy now at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Now's the time to get assistance for your child to help them succeed. Visit online, METC.com. METC's tutoring studio. Call them today, 215-493-4200, or email Kathy directly, info@metc.com. Remember, 1210 listeners get a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity. Help your child get one-on-one help. 215-493-4200.
Traveling, volunteering, spending time with family. What's your retirement look like? With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses, so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE, SIPC.
This could be the start of a break-in.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Or the end of one.
Police are on their way.
Introducing the latest innovation in home security. 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from Simply Safe. Now, agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
This is Larry Steinhess of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
So many listeners are enjoying beautiful, easy-to-maintain homes thanks to Rhino Shield, and you can too. Dom Giordano here with my good friend, the local owner of Rhino Shield. John, take it away.
Hello, it's John from Rhino Shield. For years, you've heard about our exclusive elastomeric ceramic house paint with the unheard-of 25-year warranty. Today, I want to ask you, do you need to paint your home? Maybe even been putting it off for too long? If your answer is yes, then ask yourself if you want to paint it one last time, or if you want to be painting it again in 5 or 6 years. Rhino Shield can make your next paint job your last. Rhino Shield is waterproof, protects your home, is affordable, and looks great on any exterior surface. Let Rhino Shield show you how you can be done with frequent painting. Call us today at 484-406-5111 for a free consultation. That's 484-406-5111.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Donald Trump entered a not guilty plea to charges he tried to overturn the 2020 election. Governor Josh Shapiro signed the PA budget, ending a month-long standoff in Harrisburg. 2 people are dead, 2 are missing, and 2 children are injured after a house explosion in Atlantic City.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hey, Rob Bradford here. I have set out on a mission with my good friends at FanDuel to prove what I have known for some time. Baseball isn't boring. Now I have a daily podcast to prove it with some of the most notable people in the baseball world, screaming baseball isn't boring from the mountaintops, or at least agreeing to come on our show. Players, managers, GMs, and yes, even the commissioner of baseball, Rob Manfred. It has been a constant wave of baseball's most powerful voices. So join the revolution. Subscribe and soak in Baseball Isn't Boring. Listen on your Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. You'll be glad you did.
Enjoy exclusive after-hours access to America's most historic prison all summer long. Night tours, Summer Twilight returns to Eastern State Penitentiary. Select evenings now through September 4th. Explore the historic cell blocks with a self-guided audio tour narrated by actor Steve Buscemi. Grab a drink in the Fairchance Beer Garden featuring Triple Bottom Brewing Company, and take part in special hands-on activities and events. Learn more and get your tickets now at easternstate.org.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The Dudette Dental Group is the official dentist for the Philadelphia Eagles and would love to care for you. The Eagles trust Dr. D and his team, and you can too. With 30 area locations, the Dudette Dental Group provides specialized care like dental implants, root canal therapy, fillings, and more. During the off-season, take care of your smile and get ready to cheer on our team. Dudette Dental Group accepts all major dental insurances and has pre-season specials on whitening and cosmetic dentistry. Visit PhiladelphiaEaglesDentist.com.
Volvo Finance, in concert with Cherry Hill Volvo, is offering lease and cash bonuses up to $2,500. Purchase or lease a new XC40 or XC90 through Volvo Finance and through Cherry Hill Volvo and receive this additional bonus along with the aggressive pricing already posted on our Cherry Hill Volvo website. This is a special offer and it is not to be missed. Volvo Finance and Cherry Hill Volvo and you, a perfect partnership.
Hitting the pool? Or just lounging around? Take us with you. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, always live on the free Odyssey app.
Kayal and Company, 9:35 Friday morning here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Nick, Mary, Greg, and Daniel. What's on the cut sheet part 2 coming up in just a few minutes, and also an update on our favorite guy who decided to turn himself into a collie. We'll get to that in just a moment, but we have John in Philadelphia on the line, who I believe has identified the correct movie. John, good morning. What version of the Mike Myers series did we just air for you?
Hey, guys. It's Halloween H2O 20 years later.
That is correct. Circa 1998. Congratulations, John. You got the tickets for the movie Sound of Freedom. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You're welcome. You too.
1998 was 25 years ago.
That is correct. Where did our life go? I felt like that was just yesterday. I was a freshman in high school.
It doesn't.
You were just a freshman in high school yesterday?
Yes. Well, 25 years ago.
No,
Not a joke.
kidding.
Not a joke, as Joe Biden would say.
Not a joke.
Not a joke. I think that was. Now I'm trying to remember. I think that was the one where LL Cool J was in. Which, by the way, when we talk about like movies like this that have so many reboots and reincarnations, the first one is obviously the all-timer, John Carpenter, 1978, I think it was. The second one was good, but then after that, they got a little stupid. I did like the reboot with, I think it was Rob Zombie, who recreated them 15 years ago or so?
Yeah, he did a great job with
it was really dark. It was a different version, but it was equally as good. But now we're at the point now where Jamie Lee Curtis, who I think is also a left-wing nut job, she just had like 2 of them come out in the last 3 or 4 years. I think one of them was during the pandemic. And I'm thinking, how many more renditions of Halloween can Jamie Lee Curtis actually keep doing? I feel like that is, we're at a point now where she's been doing these for 45 years. But I guess if the paychecks keep coming, you don't turn them down, do you, Mary?
Well, no, I wouldn't if well, it depends. I mean, how much money do you need? How much money maybe she just does it because she enjoys acting. I don't know.
Yeah.
But would you think less of me if I told you I've never seen any of these movies?
You've never seen one Halloween?
No.
All right. So but you know of it.
Yeah, I get the gist of it.
You get the gist of it. Guy with a mask walking around, not a COVID mask.
Isn't there like a chainsaw involved in this too?
No, this is the butcher knife.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, look, trust me, I've been ridiculed on this show for not knowing certain things, and not everybody can know everything, so I'm not going to crush you for it. But to me, you have 4 movies that are seasonal for me. When it's Halloween time in the fall, it's Mike Myers' Halloween movie. Christmas, Home Alone. Summertime, Jaws. And springtime, American Pie.
So you watch the same 4 movies every year?
American Pie.
Just around high school graduation, college graduation time.
Nobody watches American Pie.
Oh, I grew up on that.
Like you
No.
did.
Mary, you've seen Jaws, right?
I have not seen all of Jaws.
What? Oh, wow. Of course you tell us this at 9:40 the last day that you're filling in.
Because if she would have told us on Wednesday, she wouldn't have made it to Friday.
No, we could have unpacked this. Like Caddyshack. Have you ever seen Caddyshack?
Yes, I've seen Caddyshack.
Animal House?
Of course, Animal House a zillion times.
The Godfather?
No.
Goodfellas?
No.
Trying to think of other iconic.
I don't like it. So I don't.
Have you seen Rocky?
Oh yeah, I've seen all the Rockies.
Okay. All
I think
right.
I punched out somewhere along the line in the franchise, but I did see most.
Well,
of
at least you've seen Rocky. You can survive. You'll still make it in this market.
I saw Silence of the Lambs.
Yep.
And I had nightmares for weeks afterwards. I can't do scary movies. I get too scared. I'm like a child when it comes to that. I'm up at like 2:00 in the morning looking under the bed. I can't. I can't watch scary movies.
I remember talking about the Silence of the Lambs one time on another station in another life, and we were going through, these Academy Award quality actors and actresses, and I called Anthony Hopkins Dennis Hopper on the air by accident.
Oh
and
gosh!
I never lived that one down. Total Freudian slip on my part. And, of course, back then, it was just Twitter. We weren't on YouTube and any other way that you could harass me and intimidate me and make me feel like garbage. So it was just Twitter. I got that wrong.
Were you intimidated, Nick?
Were you? I was scared.
Were you?
I was out of my safe space. I was like Dylan Mulvaney. I might have to flee to Peru. All right. That'll do it for some of the commentary post-movie clip. But real quickly, before we get to the cut sheet part 2, we do have the update on the Japanese man who spent over $14,000 transitioning himself into a collie, and he recently ventured out in public for the first time. We played you the video. We broke down the paws and the claws and the whole charade. But now that he has completed this transition, he is eating dog food as well. Because if you're a dog, you eat dog food, right? Now, I'm hoping it's at least the dry food.
Because that makes it better.
Because the smell of the wet dog food out of the can, I mean, it makes me want to, heave.
I would hope that it's more like that refrigerated stuff or the stuff that comes mailed in a refrigerated box, which
the
dogs
high-end
don't eat.
bougie stuff.
Yeah, like dogs don't eat vegetables that not in the wild. They're carnivores, right?
Yeah.
But this is like a mix of meat and vegetables. It's like a human diet, but for dogs.
Yeah, it's probably expensive.
So that is what I hope he's eating. But at what point do we say, okay, this dude's mentally ill?
I've already said it. I mean, the idea that you'd want to become a dog, much less do it, and then go by along with the notion of I got to eat. I mean, does he like lift his leg when he pees now? When he takes his costume off, does he stand up at the trough and lift his leg?
Yeah. This is at what point do we finally say that we're not laughing with you, we're laughing at you?
What if you're his neighbor and to really complete this transition, he's going out back at night to go to the bathroom and he's just squatting in his own yard?
Ew.
I mean, I could probably call the police and I say, hey, you want to get some social services over here and get this guy a little help? I fear for him.
If you're in San Francisco, that doesn't matter.
No, that happens on the sidewalk.
Has anyone else noticed that everyone who would have been on the boardwalk in the Freaks sideshow back in the 1800s now is celebrated in the media or has their own reality show?
That is correct.
Like, when did we go from these people are freaks to, oh, yeah, no, that's just my neighbor?
I don't know. Can we blame Trump for that? 2016?
Probably. It's his fault. Yeah.
I agree. All right, 9:42 as we get set for the final installment of the week of What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2.
What's on the Cut Sheet?
Part 2. What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2, sponsored by Discover Lancaster. Discover more of Lancaster. It's time for summer shopping for your favorite brands at the outlets in Lancaster County. Over 100 brand name outlets are just a 90-minute drive from Philadelphia. Visit discoverlancaster.com to plan your getaway. Discoverlancaster.com. Daniel, are we caught up with all of our spots, my friend? Can you jump on the mic and make sure? Yes, we are. Okay, good. Thanks. Appreciate that. Kamala Harris spoke to a local TV station in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And the reporter asked about their terrible poll numbers. And she said, look, she's been traveling all over the country, and people are thankful for her and Joe. So you people don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Kamala Harris.
The president's job approval numbers in Wisconsin in a recent poll show that he still has low numbers. Does that suggest to you that Bidenomics isn't working or benefiting everyone?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm traveling the country, and I hear from everywhere I go, whether I'm in a rural town or an urban town, and I'm traveling all corners of our country. People are thankful.
Just not the southern border. She skipped that corner, I guess. You know what's remarkable is, no matter if I'm in rural Arkansas or big blue cities, everybody loves this administration. They're so happy they've got all this extra change in their pocket, and filling up their gas tank isn't a painful exercise.
By the way, this YouTube chat group is brutal. Daniel, can you put a screenshot up of the reporter holding the microphone? Because somebody's like, how is this guy holding the microphone?
Is he doing like Bob Barker?
No, it's very, he's holding it very loosely in one hand, and it's almost like he's never held a microphone before. Like, look at, I don't know.
Let me see here.
Well, he has like his phone in the other hand, and he is, he's asking questions. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
Should he be gripping it like it's the jaws of death?
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. It's a very light mic. You know what it has? It has a weight on the bottom of it. See the bottom?
Yeah.
So he's holding it just before that part of it. Wow, that's
Nothing.
really hypercritical.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to nitpick that.
Doris Kearns Goodwin was on MSNBC Morning Joe this morning. She said the quiet part out loud.
Oh, damn, I missed it.
She said if Republicans don't turn on Trump, we need to organize the country so he can't win in 2024.
Oh.
Like, literally saying the quiet part out loud.
Okay, great.
So, Doris, it's the grace of the individual to accept that defeat, to put the country first, but also they have their parties with them, other leaders, whether it's Democrat or Republican alike, saying, look, it is time. The election's over. It's time to move on. We all have gone through the example about Nixon and Watergate, but it also means sometimes these presidential elections, at the end of these bitterly contested fights, still even the party said, okay, it's time to turn the page. Even in 2016, by that next morning, the Democrats were doing so. But are you seeing anything here that would suggest that there are other Republicans, real ones that matter, not just the occasional lonely voice, they're going to push the party and Donald Trump to move past this in the next election?
Yeah, it's still so hard to accept that. I mean, I thought after January 6th, when you saw McConnell speak, when you saw McCarthy speak, that was going to be the beginning of the leadership turning against him. And then somehow, it's not happened. And it can't just be a few of them. And we got to figure out, when is that going to happen? When is it going to break? And maybe the more this thing becomes clear what was done, you've got to believe that rational thought will come back in the minds of some of these people. But if not, then it's going to take the overwhelming organization, just as you were talking about earlier, organizing the country at all the levels so that he cannot win that election. If the party will not depart from him, then he has to be defeated, and the party has to be defeated.
Yeah, great analysis there from Doris. Mm-hmm. My God. And that question took about 2.5 minutes to ask. Like, dude, land the plane. But I want to point out what he said there. A day after the 2016 election, Democrats moved. They spent 4 years calling Trump an illegitimate president. They didn't move on from anything. What is he talking about?
No, I just want to know if anybody's shown Jack Smith that clip yet so he can prosecute her. Right?
Well, Jack Smith is, what did we call him earlier? He's handsome, or what was the...
right. Oh, no, he's what is he?
He's a stud.
He got hit by a car on a bicycle.
Yeah.
100 triathlons he's completed, people.
Yes.
All right? So therefore he's... I don't know.
He's a functional prosecutor.
Joyce Vance was also on Morning Joe saying that when you see a judge warning Trump, it means she's a good judge.
Table in that courtroom. Next hearing scheduled for August the 28th, just over 3 weeks from now, when a trial date will be set. There'll be a lot of haggling and negotiating back and forth about when that'll be. That's obviously critical to see whether it'll get in and completed before the election. So, Joyce Vance, I would ask you about that admonition from the judge that Ken just mentioned. We should underline it again. She told Donald Trump it is a crime to try to influence a juror, to threaten or bribe a witness, or to retaliate against someone providing information to prosecutors. Did that strike you as unusual, too?
You know, it's very unusual, Willie. The only time I can remember hearing a warning like that at arraignment is when I prosecuted someone who had firebombed the house of a witness, coming very close to injuring small children as part of the activity in a very violent drug organization. And in that instance, the judge did admonish the defendant at arraignment, not only that you can have your bond revoked and go back into custody if you commit new crimes, that part is standard, but talked with him specifically about taking any action against witnesses against him. And so what comes to mind when you see a judge doing this with Donald Trump is she's a good judge. She's being very careful. If she gets to a point down the road where there's a hearing about revoking Trump's bond, she wants it on the record that she gave very specific advice that there could be no efforts to try to influence witnesses, jurors, anyone else involved in the case. She was dotting her I's and crossing her T's.
She's dotting her I's. She's crossing her T's. She's a good judge. Who's a good judge? She's a good judge. Who's a good girl?
You know what's disturbing? Did you see the report that there was like a cadre of D.C. judges who were sitting in the back of the courtroom for this?
Yeah.
It seems to me like that was probably to intimidate Trump. And she's talking about intimidation.
Uh-huh. Yep. Well said.
So.
Let's see. I have time for one more. Let's see what I want to do here. Okay, so Chicago having the same problems that Philadelphia is, where mobs of people are destroying things and looting and doing everything.
How's Brandon doing in the Windy City?
It's a good thing you asked about that, Nick, because he scolded a reporter for calling the mass looting a mob.
Oh.
He prefers to use the term large gathering.
Oh, so it was racist to call them out.
So if you're watching right now,
gathering.
If you're watching right now on YouTube, you can see this news package by the local CBS affiliate there in Chicago, and basically doing the same stuff they do here in Philly. You know, where they basically go into convenience stores and destroy and steal, and nobody can do anything.
Yep.
But we need to call them large gatherings instead of mobs.
Right.
According to the new Chicago mayor.
That's not appropriate. We're not talking about mob actions. I didn't say that. Hold on a second, okay? Respectfully. these large gatherings, just hold on a second, y'all. I promise you, we have time to talk. It's important that we speak of these dynamics in an appropriate way. This is not to obfuscate what is actually taking place.
Right.
This was the scene near Roosevelt and Canal Sunday night. Groups looted a convenience store. More than 3 dozen teenagers were arrested, along with a 12-year-old and at least one 20-year-old. Store owners say it was the second such incident in that area in just the past few weeks. And today, Mayor Johnson commended Chicago police for the way they handled it.
To the best of their ability, I believe that they attempted to engage with our young people, with community partners. Giving as much warning as they possibly could. And, unfortunately, arrests, were made.
And this is why we have situations like we do with 7-Elevens now, where if you saw this video, where the people that were running the 7-Eleven decided to beat the thief down with what looked like a damn near like a kendo stick, which was awesome because, the cops aren't going to do anything. I love how we're so obsessed with identity politics that we need to, instead of curtailing the actual problem, which is the violence, the looting, the rioting, and the crime, we're more concerned with how we identify the group. Like, are you kidding me?
I felt like I was watching a private therapy session.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true.
Where with the therapist speaking very NPR-like tones. And we need to discuss about how we characterize our youth, the youth in our city.
That's like
we need to take it down a notch, and
that would be like Trump coming out and saying
sloppy Chris Christie.
No, we don't call him sloppy. He is just large, Chris Christie. He's a big man. He's not sloppy.
And it's not his fault. We need to be body positive.
God.
And we have to stop shaming these people.
Can you imagine? It's like, unfortunately, we had to make some arrests, and I commend the police for working with that police department has their hands tied behind their back like we do here in Philadelphia.
It's hard to imagine that you could be more left than Lori Lightweight, but yet he comes off further left.
He is further left than Lori. He absolutely is further left, and they knew that, and they elected him. So you know what? You know what, Chicago?
Yeah, sorry.
It's on you.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't want to hear it. But again, the problem is those who can get out of Chicago, those who have the means to get out of Chicago, will get out of Chicago, and they're going to move to the suburbs and vote for the same junk that they just left.
Yep.
Like
the little locusts destroy an area, and they're going to come to a nice new, thriving community and destroy that. And unfortunately, there are a lot of good people in Chicago who can't afford to get out, who are now at the mercy of what is happening.
I can't wait to move to Florida.
Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, all the same.
Yes, it is.
It's literally all the same.
Yes, it is. All right, that'll do it for Cut Sheet Part 2. Gary Arnell is in at 10 o'clock this morning, filling in for Dawn. Before we get to who won Twitter today, great job this week, Mary. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
You fit in perfectly.
You were great.
And you
It
did
was fun,
Nick
except
and I
for
were
the hours, but it was fun.
Nick and I were going back and forth privately yesterday and just saying what a great job you did, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
My only complaint was that you're actually broadcasting from AOC's attic. But other than that, I've got nothing to complain about.
I'll put something on the wall for next time. By the way, is the Oli show also video?
It is not. No.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, he does.
So
He doesn't.
I don't have to do hair and makeup. It saves me a lot of time. But I'll try to put something on the wall for
There we
next
go.
time. Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
You know what? I was going to bring a plant up, but I forgot to do that.
All right.
So.
Yeah, a little greenery for your background, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little greenery.
Yeah,
you know
well,
what I
I'd
mean?
have to take it back down, though, so that it doesn't die.
Yeah.
In your servants' quarters.
Right, I have to, because there's one window here, people.
Yeah.
So I'd have to keep bringing it up and down. So.
Yeah,
but thank you. That's very nice. It was a lot of fun.
And you got, what, 2 weeks you're back with? You'll be in the afternoons?
The week of the 21st.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you've got 17 days to watch Jaws on Halloween.
No,
Homework.
I don't. I get scared.
I'll make a deal with you. I'll watch Insidious if you watch Jaws or Halloween.
Okay, well, it's called Idiocracy, so
Yeah, I'm sorry,
that's
yes.
not going to help.
That's it.
He was going to go home and watch the wrong movie, Mary. Oh, my God.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Greg, let's get to who won Twitter today.
Yes.
Who won Twitter?
Marcus Aurelius, Mark Wisniewski, wins Twitter today. He was commenting on your picture, the picture of you with hair. It says, Nick, it makes you look like a liberal college professor. You do kind of look like a college professor with the hair.
Yeah.
And it was very receding. You did a great job by...
Yeah, I knew it was time. Yeah. I had to go. I got to give an honorable mention to Hazem Bin Sober. He says, we're talking about Disney.
Yeah.
Hazem Bin Sober says, I took my kids to Dorney and told them it was Disney.
Welcome to Disney World, kids.
That's
Anything
something
you
my
want.
parents would do. I love that.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
All right, that'll do it for us. Gary Arnell is up next. Have a great rest of your Friday. We will see you Monday morning at 6, and until